What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Not So Pro Fantasy Football Talk. It's Tuesday, it's 6 o'clock. Let's talk some fantasy football, baby. If you guys haven't yet, we did release a waiver wire video earlier today, just so it's easier for you guys. If you don't catch us here on the live stream, you guys can go out there, find who you need to pick up. But we're answering every single question right now. So if you have a question, shoot it down in the comments below. We're going to get to every single one of you guys. But we're just going to do a quick recap on who we think you guys should pick up on the waiver wire. So if you saw our video earlier today, I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing me talk. So Vince, how about you kick it off today?
Yeah, man, and we always start with the QBs. So the first guy I want to talk about, and it's not so much that he's a super stud, but he has some decent games, but it's because his schedule is very, very good. The first guy I want to talk about is Marcus Mariota. He's the first quarterback that I would like to talk about just because he's owned in less than 50% of leagues. Right now, he's owned in 44% on the fantasy football app. But his schedule is looking very, very good. His toughest matchup that he will be facing is this next week against the Bears. And the Bears are not that good on defense, but they do give up a lot of rushing yards, just like they do give Justin Fields a lot of rushing yards. So I think if you're needing someone to go ahead and get in that lineup either this week or next week, and maybe even the week after that when they play the Steelers, to try to get into the playoffs because one of your quarterbacks is not doing so well, Marcus Mariota is probably an option. In the past 3 weeks, he's had 2 games above 17 points. He did have one bad game where he had less than 8, but he is pretty consistent when based on matchups, so he should be a decent pickup. But the next guy I want to talk about at QB is Russell Wilson. And no, he's not on the Seahawks. He's not on the Seahawks anymore. He's not one of my favorite guys yet because he's been kind of weird lately. I'll just say that. But he has been pretty consistent now. He's getting basically above 15 points in every game that he's been playing in. But his schedule is also very easy. He only has one game where he has a top 10 defense against QBs for the rest of the season. He doesn't have a bye week, so he's a very reliable quarterback to have. His next matchup is Las Vegas, and we know that anybody can go there and anybody can play Las Vegas and beat them because Jeff Saturday did it. And we just talked about that in one of our last videos. But his next 5 matchups are all teams that are either 18th against quarterbacks for fantasy purposes or better. So he's pretty much a shoo-in. This past game against the Tennessee Titans, who are ranked 28th, he got 21 points. So just take that into mind. He might be a guy who could help you win your fantasy league and slide into the playoffs.
I
But
like those picks. I do have one quarterback I want to talk about who is a great streaming option, just in case you have a quarterback who's on bye, like Tua Tagovailoa, the guy from Seattle, the guy that everyone wrote off, but he never wrote back. But I'm talking about Daniel Jones, and I think he's a great streaming option for this week because he's going up against the worst ranked defense in the league. He's going up against Detroit Lions. So if you're looking for a quarterback that can rack you up some points this week and who is available, is only owned in 39% of leagues. That's less than 40. So go out there, go find him. He'll be a great asset to your team coming week 11.
nice, nice, nice. I guess that's it for quarterbacks, right? I mean, it's getting late in the season. There's not too many quarterbacks who have shown us otherwise that they are these studs. But if you can find Justin Fields, which is very unlikely because he's owned in 95% of leagues basically
Yeah,
now,
it's crazy.
he is the guy at quarterback. I could see him sliding into being a top 5 quarterback by the end of the year. I think in back-to-back weeks he's had almost 40 points. So. Uh, Insane if you picked him up
Yeah.
or stashed him.
So I got a question for you because I got asked this today, right?
For it.
A guy asked me, he reached out to me. He said he has 2 quarterbacks, right? He has Lamar Jackson and he has Justin Fields. He only plays one quarterback a week. It's not a double QB league. And one guy offered him a trade saying that, hey, I'll give you AJ Brown for Justin Fields. And that's because the guy who has both quarterbacks lost Cooper Cup. What do you do, Vince?
Oh, wow. Well, I'll say this past week, AJ Brown went into sleep mode because he was a non-factor. I think he only had like one catch or two catches.
Hmm.
But let's read this comment real fast. It says, what are some good waiver wire receiver pickups in an 8-man league? Ooh, you probably have plentiful on there if you have an 8-man league, but we'll get to that right now. Let me finish this question that AJ had, and then we'll get you some wide receivers coming up fast. But I don't know, man. I think Justin Fields is right now is too good. I think
Even if you have Lamar Jackson,
yeah, man. I think so.
why do you need both?
Lamar's been a 20-point guy lately, and he hasn't surprised in a while. Uh, right now, Justin Fields is the hot hand. I don't know if I trade away Justin Fields, but I would say probably get a little bit more than
Yeah,
just
yeah,
AJ Brown.
yeah,
But
if
yeah,
you can.
yeah.
But cool. I wanted your input. Thanks on that. Okay, Yeetman says, "What are some good waiver wire pickups in an 8-man league?" Okay, so this is an 8-man league, so you're gonna have a lot of guys out there who are available. I guess I gotta go high here. Right now, he might be available in an 8-man league, and I don't like him. I trash on this guy every single week, and this goes by everything I go for. Okay, go see if Cortland Sutton is available. Go check out Cortland Sutton only because the wide receiver one, the real wide receiver one, Jerry Judy, he is out, and it seems to be a high ankle sprain, and it does not look clean. It looks pretty dirty. So you don't know how long he's going to be out. They haven't placed him on the IR just yet, so he could be missing out potentially a month. From my perspective, of course, I'm not a doctor, right? But from what it looks like, it could be a month. So if you're out there in a 8-man league, go see if Cortland Sutton's out there. He is the next wide receiver one. He could potentially help out your team. You got any other guys who are high up there, Vince, who could potentially be available?
I'm not too sure about high up there. I do have one guy who's been extremely, extremely efficient. I wanted to talk about him a little bit later, but I'll bring it up now because it's looking like he wants some good receivers. This guy's owned in 0.7% of leagues. So I'm pretty 100% sure he's out there on yours. He's been averaging 13 points a game. His low in the past 3 games is 11. His high is 18 just this past week against Houston. And he has a matchup against the Lions. His name is Darius Slayton, as you see right there on the board. I think he's going to be a consistent guy there in New York. They have pretty much been sharing the ball pretty evenly, and this guy's getting 3 to 5 receptions, but for a good amount of touchdowns because he has 2 touchdowns in the past 3 games. So he's definitely a guy you can probably find there. He's not a big guy, but then again, I haven't been in an 8-man league since like 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm not too sure what's on there right now, but I'm pretty sure all the guys we're about to talk about with you, they're gonna be there. So
Oh yeah.
these guys are gonna be a good pick and play for you there in that 8-man league.
Yeah, he said Sutton's not available. I want to get to another guy, but we have another question here. Which the other guy, which I'll go in more depth, is Kadarius Toney, just in case you're in a time crunch.
Oh yeah.
But let's get into Joe. He says, "Hey guys, I got a trade question. He has Lamar and Hurts in his 10-man league. Should I trade Hurts, Waddle, and Mike Williams for Geno Smith, Diggs, and Olave?" And yes, Lamar does have an easier playoff schedule. As
Yes.
I was telling Vince, I like Lamar Jackson. He might be a 20-point guy, but for me, that's more than enough for a QB,
Yeah.
right? Now, you're pretty damn spoiled if you're going out there with both Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. So kudos to you. You're a winner, right? So if you could trade one of those QBs, I definitely will. And that's the advice I gave to that individual that asked me about Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields is when you go to the playoffs, you're playing one quarterback. You're not playing anyone else, right? So to go get Geno, Diggs, and Olave, I think Diggs is a huge, huge upgrade for a team. And honestly, in my opinion, I would say yes. I would love to have Diggs on my team.
I would too, man. If you're only giving up Hurts, Waddle, and Mike Evans, I mean, heck yeah, you're trading one of those wide receivers who's Mike Williams, who's very, very inconsistent for Olave. I think if you even just do just that one guy in comparison to them, both of them, I think you win with Olave. And then Diggs and Waddle. Waddle's been doing good, but Diggs is always consistent because he's got Josh Allen tossing him the rock, even if he has a hurt elbow. And then in my opinion, Geno is doing equivalent to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has been spreading the ball a lot more, and he hasn't been rushing that much. So I think that's an even trade for the quarterbacks, the first wide receivers, but you win that trade with getting Olave for sure.
Yeah, he has DK on his team, so it'll be Lamar, Kamara, Lenny Diggs, DK Kittle. That is awesome. And he either have Jamal Williams or Olave at flex. See, I like what he's doing, right? Because obviously, what it sounds like you're winning in your league.
Mhm.
Okay, so now you're looking for playoff material. You're weeding out your good to great players to get great elite players.
Yep.
That's what you're doing because you're not going to utilize your bench. Now you got to go all in. You're cashing all in. If they get injured, so what? You're trying to get the best of the best of the team, and that's exactly what you're doing. I like it a lot. Keep at it, man. Is Allen Robinson a good play with Cup out? I like Vince's take on this. He's about to talk about some wide receiver with a weird last name. If I'm not mistaken.
The weird. Oh, you mean Skaronek?
Skaronek. Yeah, I have no idea how to say his name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, I like Skaronek. Usually, when there is a receiver out for the Rams or a tight end, whoever it is, or I mean, their running backs are irrelevant also. So
Very,
when
yeah, yeah,
Skaronek comes
definitely.
to play, with Cup being out, Skaronek is the guy they throw in the slot, and he's the guy who gets so many receptions and targets. I think the last time that Cup was out, I think Skaronek got something around 13 targets, and he had about 7 to 8 catches.
13
Uh,
targets, yeah, and
yeah,
8 catches.
something like that, and it was insane. So I think Allen Robinson might not be the guy because even when there is another receiver out, Allen Robinson does not produce. He might get 4 or 5 catches like he's consistently been doing, but he's not a guy who's going to get a touchdown or who's going to get any rack yards for you. He's a catch and sit guy. So he doesn't get any rack yards, but Skowronek does because he's in the slot. He's very elusive, he's very small, and he's very fast with his cuts. So I think maybe Skowronek is the guy to pick up. Maybe not Allen
Mhm.
Robinson.
I mean, Allen Robinson does have some value because his production will go up with Cup being out. I mean, to be fair, Cup was getting 80% of the targets. So that has to be spread out somehow. And if he does not like Skarnek early on, while Cup is out, then Allen Robinson will be the guy. So he does have some value, but Skarnek will probably be the guy that I'll bet my money on. Joel, Joel says he's 5-5. Hey man, as long as you're trying to better your team, go out there. Stephon Diggs, he's a league winner by far. I like Waddle a lot, I really do. But if you're getting Diggs and Olave, you can't go wrong there. Um,
Oh man,
Ash, Ash Gaming says, do I do this trade? I give Diggs and Swift, and I get Hopkins and Chubb. You want me to answer? You got this.
well, my answer is gonna be like heck yeah, because I like Hopkins. I like the way that Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy, whoever's gonna play, they're passing the ball, and Hopkins is on the receiving end of that, and then Nick Chubb is always gonna be good. Maybe this past week I don't remember what he got. Don't think it was something like 20 points, but Swift is kind of irrelevant. So if you give Swift and which is basically, in my opinion, a little bit of trash, and then you get Chubb, who's like a good amount of something, like you got like a gallon of milk now, so you got something you can use. So in my opinion, I think so. Uh,
You're talking about trash and milk, dude.
yeah, man, milk is better than trash.
Why didn't you say like okay, Diggs compared to Hopkins, you're taking maybe a quarter of a
A
step
little
back,
bit.
and Swift compared to Chubb, you're taking 3 steps forward.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I'm a little hungry, so I'm thinking of some food over here.
Oh, jeez, man. Yeah, I know I haven't had dinner yet. But yeah, no, I love that trade. Go out there, go get him. I love Diggs. He's a league winner, but so is Hopkins. And the only reason Hopkins is not ranked so highly is because he was gone for half the season. I mean, you saw it last week. Even without Kyler Murray, he racked up, was it 19 points? Come on, man.
It's pretty high, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Go out there, get Hopkins, get Chubb. You're winning that trade 100%. Yes, and thank you so much for joining us live, Ash Game. I think it's the first time we've seen you. Feeling generous, hit that subscribe button. We are on a roll so far. We're a very small channel trying to grow, but I guess we could go on, huh? I want to bash on you real quick, Vincent.
Go ahead, go for it.
So There's this guy that I liked. I've been talking about for the past 3 weeks. Okay, actually, you might even say 4 weeks. I've been talking about this guy. I've been talking about Rashad White, and I got too many studs on my bench. Right, I talked to the commissioner, and I was like, "Hey, dude, can we add an extra IR slot?" And so I tweeted up to my guys, like, "Hey, support me on this trade." And this was like, "Why? You trying to get a QB?" I was like, "Nah, there's a few guys I want to get on the waiver wire." And he looked at, I'm guessing he looked at my notes or he looked at our past video. And he snatched Rashad White right from under me, dude. Right then and there, like within 2 minutes, he went out there, grabbed him away from me. This guy, there's a rumor going around already. Even when Leonard Fournette comes back, he could potentially be taking that RB1 spot, which he has been week by week. This guy is amazing. Potentially a league winner. And I mean, I don't say that lightly. I know I might say it a lot, but I don't say it lightly.
Yeah,
What's
man.
going on, Nestor?
I think, hey, Ness, how's it going, man? But I think Rashad White had about like 100 yards this past game. No, as soon as Leonard Fournette went out, he had like 100 yards.
You just rubbing it in right now?
Oh yeah, man. I had him on my bench though, so not
Yeah, I
that.
know you had him on your bench. I was looking at him the whole time. I was like, gosh, man, he was supposed to be on my bench. David Acosta, appreciate you being here live with us, guy. It says, do I start Watson or Sutton? Okay, so I have it here in my notes. Christian Watson, you have to put him on your fantasy football notes, right? Because
Yeah,
who the hell gets 3 touchdowns in
out of
one
nowhere.
game, huh? Yeah, out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. I'll tell you why. Randall Cobb is injured. Romeo Dobbs is injured. Aaron Rodgers has no idea who he should trust. He can't even trust himself right now. So Watson did have a hell of a game. Will he repeat that? I highly doubt it. He could be a solid flex guy moving forward. But you got to remember, Randall Cobb just got activated off the IR. So that's worrisome. I hate Sutton with a passion. I talk trash about him all fantasy season long, but now that the true wide receiver one of that team is injured, which is Jerry Judy, Sutton is the guy to have. Okay, for now. Okay, for now. What do you think, Vince? I got Sutton here.
Yeah, man. I think Christian Watson was just a little blip on the radar. He came in and he might leave next week, but he might not. But I think Sutton is for sure the guy to start here. Just like AJ said, Jared Judy is hurt. We don't know for how long. And usually when Sutton is the only guy, he does pretty well. And last week, their tight end, I forget his name.
Dulcich.
Yeah, Dolchich. There he goes. That guy. He was basically irrelevant, and that's because Jared Judy was out the entire game. So I don't think Dolchich is a guy that they're going to be utilizing. So I think Sutton will be on the receiving end of that. It just depends on how Russell Wilson comes to play. So that's also a threat. But yeah, I'd go Sutton.
Actison. I think that's Actison. Actison. There you go. Sorry, never went to school. Says number one. I guess it is his one league. He's 8-2. QB's Kyler Murray, Jeremy Garoppolo. Running back is Nick Chubb, Montgomery, Herbert on IR. Yeah, big win there, Montgomery. But guess what? He's still not the running back one. It's Justin Fields, buddy. Jamal Williams, wide receiver is Diggs, Debo, Boyd, tight ends, Kelsey, awesome. Rate my team. Should I trade for a better QB or ride the rest of the season? Why would you trade for a better QB? You got Kyler Murray. As much as we don't like him, he's great fantasy wise. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Warzone comes out tomorrow, right? So Kyler Murray's production is gonna fall, and it's insane because I think Kyler Murray already logged in how many hours of Call of Duty? It was so much, and his AD is a 0.4. Oh yeah. It's horrible. But
Dude.
nah, man, I think you should ride with Kyler Murray. Even Jimmy G, dude, his schedule going forward is very favorable fantasy wise. It's not that difficult. And then you put a guy back there. You could put me back there. All right. I'm not saying I'm not an athlete, but I could be back there taking snaps for the Niners. I could toss the ball up in the air. There's so many weapons on that offense that they will allow whatever person, whatever QB to get some good fantasy points. So no, I think you should ride with him the rest of the season. Honestly, I'd rate your team. Oh man,
I'd say it's about an 8 right now.
I was gonna say 7. Because Montgomery has gone down. I would like to see you get some beefed up running backs. I love Nick Chubb, but Montgomery, he's been struggling all season long. I know Herbert's on IR, which is great news for you. More attempts for him, but Justin Fields has found his rhythm, and Jamal Williams, until they completely give up on Swift, then he'll be the guy. Right now, he's like he's there, he's pushing, but It's not there, but good team. I rank it a 7. Vince ranks it at 8, so we'll put 7.5. Great job, great draft, great trades, whatever you did, good job.
Yes,
Says
sir.
also, do I start Tyler Boyd or Jamal this week at a flex?
I think because I also have Boyd and Jamal on one of my teams, so I'm in that same dilemma. But I think I'm gonna start Boyd this week. I just like their matchup. Look at those doggos back
I'm
there,
so sorry.
having so much fun. But I forgot who they're matching up against. I can try to look really fast, but I gotta find him because I got 5 leagues to look through. Uh, but I think Tyler Boyd. I looked at his matchup and he has a favorable matchup. Uh, but Jamal Williams did as well. I'm just trusting in the fact that Boyd is going to outplay Jamal Williams. So I think Boyd will be the guy this week, but that's just me.
Nice, good perspective there. Liam says Herbert, CMC, Zeke, Keenan, Hollywood, Rondell Moore, DJ Moore, Palmer, Juju, Schultz, Foreman, Deshaun, Kyron Williams, Mark Andrews. Rate the team 1 to 10, 12 man, half PPR. Half PPR, okay. I like this. I like this team. I do feel like you got a whole bunch of good to great players and not great
Mhm.
to elite players. Uh, I would rate your team a solid 6.5 to 7.
Yeah, man.
It's better than average.
I think I'm gonna say a 7 just because of the tight ends that he has there. I'm pretty sure in his 12-man league he's able to go ahead and play 2 tight end set. If not, he just has Schultz off of probably the waiver wire when Mark Andrews got hurt. So good job on that because Schultz is getting a lot of points lately. Um, I would say maybe just like a little bit lacking on the wide receiver because we know Hollywood is injured right now. Keenan Allen's been injured for like ever. I think
Never.
he's only played like
Yeah.
2 games here. So Rondo Moore's been doing good for you, but I know that DJ Moore has been kind of in the, for lack of a better word, in the shitter right now. He hasn't been performing all too well, but Palmer has been doing decently well. So, and so it's probably Juju. But yeah, in my opinion, I would just say he needs a little bit better on the bench for those wide receivers because I'm pretty sure right now you're starting Rondell Moore and Juju. But that's just me. But yeah, you definitely have a good team. So I think I'm going to rate it a 7, especially for 12 man.
Yeah, I was disregard that 6.5. It's definitely a 7. I totally forgot it was a 12 man. So yeah, better than average team, especially for a 12-man league. Good for you. David says, is Cole Kmet a start this week over Njoku? They have the Bills this week, and Kmet has looked like a beast. So I actually have Cole Kmet here in my notes. So I'm just going to read off straight from the notes, right? My oh my, how the turntables. It's the office reference, right? Just a few short weeks ago, Komet was considered a bust once again as Justin Fields struggled to produce through the air. Then the Bears figured out how to strategize around their incredibly mobile quarterback. Chicago turned into an offensive powerhouse, and Komet has scored 5 times in the last 3 games.
Yup.
I think he's a must start guy. If you're interested in my fantasy notes, I release them every single week. Hit us right here. Our information, let me scroll up. Our information's down here. Hit me up. I send a PDF every single Monday to Tuesday on who to pick up on the waiver wire, why to pick them up, who's on bye, injuries. I do all that update. But yeah, I'll definitely start Komet here this week. What do you think, Vince?
Yeah, man. I'm actually trying to pick up Komet on one of my leagues when I just lost my main man from the Cardinals. I'm forgetting his name as well.
Zach
I don't know why.
Ertz.
Zach Ertz. Yeah. Yeah, he's hurt. I don't know for how long he's going to be hurt. He's probably going to go on IR. So Komet is the guy right now. He has 22 and 23 points in the last game. And just like AJ said, the past 3 games, he's had 5 touchdowns. That's unheard of unless you have Kelsey. So right now, Komet is playing on all cylinders. And Justin Fields, if he's not running the ball, he's passing it to Cole Komet. So he's a guy to start for sure.
Oh, show. Bronco plays. He says, I got a playoff spot already. What should I do with this team? I want to trade for players with a good playoff schedules. Thanks. QB is Burrow. Running back is Henry, Jacobs, Foreman. Wide receivers are Chase, Olave, Lazard, Keenan Allen. And definitely hit up some wide receivers.
Yeah, for
Hit up
sure.
some wide receivers pretty darn hard. Um,
Let me see if I have any of these guys with easy schedules right now.
Honestly, as far as the wide receiver position, people to go out and look for, you want to get someone who's going to be consistent, like Chris Godwin, Christian Kirk. I say Christian Kirk. I know he had like 2 bad games, not even bad, but he's going to get utilized a lot in the back half of the season. Doesn't matter who they're playing up against. Um,
Yeah, man, he probably has to go after someone like DeAndre Hopkins, someone who's like kind of sizzled down to like where they're gonna be at the rest of the year, but they're super consistent. And
mhm.
right now, I think Jamar Chase, when he comes back, he might be consistent. Olave is looking like he's just determined by who's at quarterback and how they're playing. Lazard is injured. We don't know how injured he is. And Keenan Allen, I mean, that guy might never play again this season. He's just there. So, yeah, I'd say hit up that wide receiver uh, trades for sure. But
I got a crazy idea that I was even thinking about doing. Why don't you go out and get Cooper Cup? He just got placed on the IR. It's a huge risk, right? He just got placed on the IR, so he's going to be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. So he will be missing the first playoff game. But if it is just a minimum, he will be ready to go for the rest of the playoffs to the championship. And you could get him dirt cheap right now. But then again, like I said, it is a huge risk because you don't know if he's going to be out for the rest of the fantasy football season. But yeah, go get yourself a good wide receiver. Yeah, these guys are not gonna. I like Chase. I actually have him as one of my top fantasy wide receivers finishing off the season. So I think he's gonna come back with all cylinders firing. Ash Gaming says I have Murray at QB, ETN at Foreman. Love it. Running back at running back, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think you meant wide receiver. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, I'm reading this backwards. AJ Brown and Diggs at flex. Bench, I have Pollard, Swift, Thielen, and Daniel Jones. Marquise Brown on IR, rated 1 through 10. I'm 9-1. Obviously, you're 9-1 for a reason. This is
yep.
a great team. I've been preaching about ETN all season long, even for the draft. So I love how you have him and Foreman. I'm a little worried how Foreman's going to do for the rest of the season. But when you look at your wide receivers, they're just stacked. And I want to say Brown's going to keep on going up, especially after trading away the huge target share tight end. AJ Brown's going to continue to do well. Stephon Diggs is phenomenal. I can't believe you have him as your flex. That's awesome. And then Pollard, Swift, Thielen, a lot of potential there. Daniel Jones, Marquise Brown at IR. Once he comes back, I don't know how he's going to do, but if he picks up from where he left off, he's going to be a consistent guy. I'm going to rate this an 8.5.
Yeah, man. I was about to say 8.5 just because of Foreman. I think he needs to go
Ooh,
after someone super big. And it's a oh wow.
12-man full PPR. That ETN's probably eating up some points right now, baby.
Yeah.
I love that. Amon-Ra's going to tear it up even more. Diggs, I like this a lot. This is awesome. Congrats. I want to push it up to a 9, but where are my standards at? I have no idea. But a 12-man league, F it. You get a 9, dude. I love it.
Yeah, man. But I think if he can trade Foreman right now, since he's been producing very highly, I'd say he tries to trade for like Mixon, Derrick Henry, someone, because he's got a good bench too. He could definitely trade Thielen, Daniel Jones, Pollard even. Pollard is a good guy right now, but it's always how many points is he going to get? Is what's his name playing or not? Is Pollard going to be the starter? Uh, so I think he should go after a big name running back, and he'll be like a 10 for sure.
Yeet Man has another question. It says, who is better to start, Komet or Schultz? Start this upcoming week. I'm a big Schultz guy. I was very high on him coming into the season. And honestly, I want to say Schultz. I really do. But the only reason why I'm going to say Komet is because of the matchup. The Dallas Cowboys are going up against a Vikings team who have just proved that they are an elite team. They are. Offense, defense, they're great. At Komet, they're going up against the Atlanta Falcons, who give up a lot of points to tight ends. And that's the only reason I will say start Komet. But you can't go wrong with either or, in my opinion. I love Schultz. I think he's the rest of the season tight end start guy. But if you're looking for the best outcome, the highest ceiling is there with Komet. The highest floor is Schultz.
Yeah, for sure. Schultz is like a 15-point guy a game. He's getting like 8 to 9 targets, 6 to 7 receptions. But Komet is the boom guy right now. You can't deny that he is the boom guy because he has 5 touchdowns in the past 3 games. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go Komet here for sure. But if you want to be safe and just have like a good floor, I'd go Schultz for sure.
Hey, I just want to say thank you everyone who went out there and subbed. Ash Gaming, I know you went out for a fact and subbed. Once we hit 300 subscribers, we're going to be doing another giveaway. We just gave away a autographed mini helmet. So if we do hit 300, we will be giving away either a mini helmet, autographed jersey, or an autographed football. It's totally random. And once we get closer to our goal, which if we get another 2 likes, we'll probably order it. And then we'll see who we get and we'll release all the details then. But thank you guys so much for subscribing. Appreciate all the feedback and all the questions you guys are giving us. Who do you like more, Godwin or Evans? Now, this is kind of weird, right? Because these two guys are still producing points fantasy wise, even from the same team. It depends. What type of fantasy player are you? Are you like me? Do you like consistency or do you like the big bang players, right? Godwin, I love Godwin. He's at my flex position, concrete in that flex position, because every single week I know for a fact he's going to score at least 12 points. And that's what I love. Evans, he could score 20 points one week. He could score 9 points the next week. There's that inconsistency. So if you're like me, I like Godwin a lot more, even though Evans is the better fantasy player. I just like consistency. And I know for a fact that I'm getting at least 12 points from this guy.
Yeah, man, I think Godwin is the guy for sure. But yeah, Evans is a big play guy. So if he does get one of those big plays, he will have more points than Godwin. But just like AJ said, he is the guy to have at that flex position. He's going to be consistent. He's always getting targets because he's not matched up with the best cornerback. But yeah, I think Godwin is the guy to like here a little bit more.
Bronco Player says, I got offered Jacobs and Olave for Tyreek Hill. Don't do it.
Nah.
I like Tyreek Hill. He is the #1 fantasy football player. I was just looking at it today, Vince, on our TikTok. And yes, we do have a TikTok. It's listed down below. I posted preseason who I think the top 10 wide receiver is going to be. And I put Tyreek Hill at number 8. And I got totally trashed on. Totally trashed on. So go ahead. Those guys who said I have no idea what I'm talking about, that I'm trash, appreciate it. But look at him now, #1 in fantasy football. I wouldn't do it. I love Tyreek Hill. He's going to be producing points no matter what. You agree?
I agree, man, wholeheartedly. I have him on 2 leagues, so he's a starter. But
he's worth way more than Jacobs and Olave.
Yeah, for sure.
David says normal seasonal redraft 12-man QB1 is Dak. My 2 RBs are Joe Mixon, Eckler. Okay. My receivers are T. Higgins, Debo, Jacoby Myers. Like it. Tight end is Njoku, which I'm replacing for the week. Who are you replacing with? Are you replacing with Komet? Is that I'm not too sure if that was the one who was asking about Komet. I don't think so. But I like this team. I feel like you can upgrade on the wide receiver. T. Higgins is great, but you got to remember he is a wide receiver too whenever Jamar Chase does come back. Debo is going to be seeing a slight production fall just because there's so many targets to share out there in San Francisco. Jacoby Myers, I do feel like he is on a rise. I do like him, but he's a flex at best. So I like the team. I think it's a little above average just because of your running backs. You have Austin Eckler and Joe Mixon, which is great. Yeah. I would honestly sell really high on Joe Mixon and get some wide receivers in. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think wide receiver is definitely the area to go right now. T. Higgins has been doing pretty decent, but Debo is my concern, and Jacoby Myers is probably going to take a little bit of a dip soon. But yeah, I'd say receiver is the only area to work.
Nice. And yeah, he was the one asking about Komet. So yeah, Komet, I would start him over Njoku this week. Like I said, the Atlanta Falcons have given up so many points against tight ends. So that would be a good pickup for you. Yeetman says, I have Justin Fields as QB. That's a great win for you. Great dub. They finally found what he can do. I see him kind of like a Hurts, Jalen Hurts type player.
Yeah. Yeah, how Jalen Hurts was playing in the beginning, that's how Justin Fields is now playing. He's found his rhythm, and the team is functioning very well. So, yeah, Justin Fields right now, QB is one of the best.
Big time. Let's move on. I do have some guy for those of you who are in a 12-man, 14-man league. So these are deep, deep pickups. I got Jalen Warren. I did talk about him a couple of weeks ago. Jalen Warren, it seemed like he was going to take Najee Harris's spot because he hasn't been producing, and then now they kind of found his place in that offense, and that is a solid running back, not running back three, third down back. So they're going to be utilizing him in the third down. So Najee Harris will be getting that first, second down reps, but Jalen Warren will get utilized a lot when it comes to passing downs. And so I would only recommend this if you're in a deep league and if it's a full PPR. If it's a full PPR, this guy could have potential flex value for your team. But if not, I wouldn't put that much waiver priority on this guy.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think Jalen Warren right now in the past 2 or 3 games, he's had at least 3. He's a good guy to have, especially on the bench, because he could end up popping off towards the end of the season. They have a pretty favorable schedule. But I see we're still on running backs, AJ, so we can answer this question and then we'll get back to it.
So Chris says, I got offered DJ Moore and Rachaad White for Lockett. Thoughts? I need better RBs because I'm using Melvin Gordon and Brian Robinson, and I got a good wide receiver depth. Oh, okay. For Lockett, F it, right? If we're in the back half of the season, I say do it. I've been talking about Rachaad White all this time before this guy to the right of me just complete, or to your right, my left.
Yeah.
This guy stole him from me. I made the mistake and I trusted someone that I grew up with, and I was like, "Hey Vince, I trust you, man. I'm gonna try to go for this guy. Help me pass this boat so I can go pick him up." He's like, "Oh, okay." Goes to pick him up immediately. So Rachaad White is definitely a guy to have. I know Leonard Fournette is injured with a minor hip injury, and they have a bye week. It looks like he will be healthy enough to play the following week. But I got some sources, okay? I got sources, and usually they've been kind of on, all right? And they're saying that Rachaad White will still be the RB1 for that team. And I 100% believe it because week by week, he's been taking more and more reps from Leonard Fournette. He's been more productive, getting more yards, and also he's been getting a lot of target share in that backfield. I kind of like it. I think Rachaad White could be a potential league winner. Get him while he's cheap, and that is now. But getting DJ Moore and Lockett, I say F it. Go for it. I like it.
Yeah, man, I like it too. And just to defend myself, AJ, you never told me who it was, all right? You just said there's someone I like on the waiver wire, and I was like, I know exactly who that is.
Of course you do. We do a fantasy show together. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Hey, man, in my defense, I needed him more, AJ. He's better on my bench than he is on yours because he might never see a playing time any week with your lineup.
Hey, you never know. You never know. Do you want to know who I'm getting this week?
No.
Is that what?
We already made a trade. I'm good with adding.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for my team. I feel like that was a good trade on both parts. Hopefully, yeah. So I'm happy. Hope you're happy. But yeah, that's a great question, Chris. So go out there. Rachaad White's the guy to get. Like I said, he could potentially be a league winner for your team. But yeah, you said you had another running back there, Vincent.
Yeah, man, I got 2 more. You're gonna like this first one that I want to talk about. Let me go ahead and put him up on the board. Mr. Elijah Mitchell.
Nice.
He just came off IR this past week. I have his points here that he scored. It was pretty freaking good, and it was more than I was expecting. When AJ sent me a tweet that said that the 49ers wanted their running backs to have equal carries, I was like, sure, buddy. You guys got CMC. What are you talking about? And I mean, Elijah Mitchell out-carried CMC by 3 carries, and I was very, very surprised by that. He also out-yarded him in rushing yards, not in catching or anything like that, because CMC is the guy on third downs or passing downs. But Elijah Mitchell did very good. He got 9.8 points in a regular league. I think in our league, I have the stats boosted a little bit because of carries, because of Reed. He's not here, but he wanted yards per carry. or
Still
points
losing.
per carry. Yeah, I mean he still sucks. I mean,
Whoa! Whoa!
Reed will never watch this. Don't tell him anything, guys. But Elijah Mitchell is a guy to get. He is a guy to have in the flex position for sure. For me, it's not an option because I have CMC in the starting spot, so I'm not going to play two guys from the same team, especially when they're sharing carries back there. But he is a guy who's going to keep getting the ball, and he's running very effectively right now. So I could see him getting a touchdown here or there as well, and he could boost your points if you really need a running back right now. And he's only owned in 58% of leagues, so it's pretty low for a running back of his caliber.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked pretty damn good coming out of the IR, huh?
Yeah,
I
it's
was pretty
pretty low.
excited. Heat Man says, "Is Antonio Gibson a good start at RB 8-man? In an 8-man league, I feel like you could do better. I understand ETN's on a bye. I feel like you could do better than Antonio Gibson. Now, I was quite surprised at how much they utilize the run game when it comes to Washington. I really haven't paid too much attention to them. And now that JD McKissick is totally out of the picture and it's just Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson, this is not a bad start, but I feel like you could get something a little bit better than that. If it's their last resort, then go for it, do it. But yeah, especially the 8-man, there should be someone else that you could go out there, which is someone that I'm about to talk to or talk about. So Vince, you keep your paws off of this one,
Go
okay?
ahead.
So I like Isaiah Pacheco. We talked about this guy a couple of weeks back, and I like him. I like him a lot. I got it right here in my notes. He led the backfield with 16 carries. 16 carries. The next man up had 7 carries, and that was Jerick McKinnon. I told you guys this guy is a not-start player unless one of these guys get hurt. And guess what? No one got hurt. They just totally lost 100% faith on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They said, "Hey man, there's the bench. Get comfortable. That's your new home." Isaiah Pacheco, come on, baby. We're trusting you. He's a young, talented guy. They're going to trust him for the rest of the season. Getting 16 carries last game. Oh, and then to top it off, this is the best part. He only had like 8 points for fantasy. So no one's gonna go out of their way to get this guy. No one is. He is a new running back 1, and he's gonna be available for you guys. I am, if I do get him off of waivers in my undefeated league, I got 2 of those, by the way. I am starting Isaiah Pacheco. I don't care. It says he's projected to get 3 points. Quote me on this. You could clip this video right now. He's projected to get 3 points right now as we speak. I am going to start Isaiah Pacheco straight from the waiver wire. That's how high I am on this guy.
Oh
I'm
my
excited. I'm
geez.
ecstatic about him.
I don't know about that one. I for sure will not have him on my waivers, AJ. I promise you that because I already have him in some other leagues where he could probably be utilized. But Isaiah Pacheco is a good guy to have, especially with the tides changing for a lot of these teams and who they want to start at running back. Younger is better, and Younger is pretty much working out lately. So the only place that it's not working out right now is because the Broncos are so out of whack that they're still using a guy who's older at running back, and that's Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon has been doing pretty decently, in my opinion, ever since he was moved up and became the number 1 running back after what's his name? I keep forgetting people's names right now. He's on
Williams.
Williams, yeah.
Javonte.
Devontae Williams, he's on IR. Melvin Gordon is the number 1 back there. No one is really eating into his production too much. There are some guys who are getting the ball, and then Broncos are usually not on the field on offense too much. But that doesn't hurt Melvin Gordon's production. In the past 2 weeks, or I'll say 3 weeks because he's done pretty decent. He has 8+ points in all 3 weeks, and these past 2 weeks he has at least 10 or 12 points. So that was against some decent teams against the running back position, but now he has one of the easiest schedules in the next 5 games. He's got the Las Vegas Raiders, Carolina Panthers, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, and Arizona Cardinals. All of those teams have been giving up decent amount of points to running backs, and if Melvin Gordon gets the ball and the way that Russell Wilson is playing, I think he could be a guy who could get you at least 10 to 12 points per week. So, in my opinion, Melvin Gordon is a guy you can plug and start. as soon as you get him out the waiver wire. He is owned in 67% of leagues, but maybe you can trade for him as well. I think he's going to be great because he only has one game, and only one game against the LA Rams, who are ranked number 4 against running backs in this entire end of the season. So he's got at least 8 more weeks of great matchups. So this is a guy to have on your team, in my opinion.
Nice. Now, me personally, I don't have any other running backs to talk about. So if you're ready to move on, I'm ready to move on. Let's hit up some wide receivers.
Let's do it, my man.
So wide receivers, we talked a little bit about Christian Watson, right? So we talked about Christian Watson. He's done and over with. This is guy Kadarius Toney, and I will be the first one to say I was not a believer. Okay, when he got traded to the Chiefs, I was like, okay, there's no way he's going to be seeing any production. You have Juju, you have Hardman, you have MBS, you have way too many weapons. You got Travis Kelce out there. It's just not going to be a thing for him. But I got some more stats for you guys. Let me just read this off for you, and this should just say it all. He had 2 carries for 33 yards, 5 targets, 4 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. 3.8 yards per route ran, which is most of the Kansas City Chiefs non-running backs. Targeted on 33% of routes, which is the most of non-running backs. 8.8 yak per reception, which is a team high. You tell me. This is a guy who has potential to be the wide receiver 1 on that team. They obviously they like them enough to trade for him, and they like him enough to shoot him right at the gun. I like this guy. I don't know what. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, man, and I for one liked him when he was on the Giants. He just couldn't be healthy. He was from Florida when he was in college. He never really had the chance to shine with the Giants because he was always hurt, and everybody else on the team was hurt. Daniel Jones was not the best quarterback in the past recent years, but now that Kadarius Toney can get in there, he doesn't have to play every single down. He doesn't have to stress his body so much, and he has a good quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Kadarius Toney is going off, so it was just a switch of team, and that's all he needed. Oh, Blurpy.
Blurpy's back. Says, what kind of wide receiver could I get for Olave and Kmet? My wide receivers are Monron, D Hop, Olave, and Olave. Tight ends are Andrews and Kmet. This is what you can get. You could get someone like a Chris Godwin. You could go out there and get someone like a Christian Kirk, kind of like we talked about earlier. I love how you have a Monron and D Hop. Those are phenomenal players to have. Go out and see if you could swindle someone, and I do mean swindle. So you got to sweet talk them, take them out to lunch, dinner, whatever. Buy them a 6-pack. I don't care what you do. Go get yourself a Jalen Waddle. If you could get yourself a Jalen Waddle, you're pretty much set, and you're winning that league with hands down.
Nice.
Arado says, who will be the running back for the Ravens this week? I have to drop one of these clowns, Drake and Edwards. It has been a carnival out there in Baltimore. Oh my gosh. And it's just been a carousel of running backs when it comes to J.K. Dobbins, Kenyon Drake, Gus Edwards, Hill. Like, who do you start? Who do you drop? Do I hold on to J.K. Dobbins? Do I hold on to Gus Edwards? I'm one of those clowns that held on to Gus Edwards and J.K. I got both those guys in my league. But you know what? I think for my own personal, whatever goes on in my head, I will honestly start Gus Edwards. It looks like he's trending in the right direction, and it is kind of a risk. If you could avoid going out there and starting one of these guys, then I would do so 100%. But last time Gus Edwards was coming off of an injury, and we're like, okay, he might be seeing limited snaps. Kenyon Drake might be taking the majority. It was total opposite. Gus Edwards came out the gun and led that backfield right from an injury. So we might see the same thing going on again. So if I had to pick one of those guys, it will be Gus Edwards 100%. What's going on, Israel? Appreciate you being here live on the Fantasy Football stream. Thank you so very much. Oh, so you met Drake London instead of double Olave. Got you. AJ went down and Ree went down. You're next. Hey, you better pray that I don't make it into the playoffs. And that's just one of my leagues. I'm in 3 leagues, and 2 of those leagues I'm undefeated still. So good for you. I was offered Deebo Samuel. So Deebo Samuel, I like this guy a lot. Obviously, I'm a Niners fan. But his production will have a slight decrease as we saw last week. There's just too many mouths to feed, and it seems like Jimmy G is really finding his comfortable spot with Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is going out there, and he's getting the confidence from Jimmy Garoppolo, which he would have had more points if he did drop that touchdown pass, which did piss me off that Sunday night. But hey, they still won, right? Debo isn't bad for Olave and Komet because you already have a great tight end. So you're basically trading Olave for Debo, but you'll be seeing very similar productions from Olave and Debo. So it's kind of a lateral move. I would go out and get something a little bit more like a Chris Godwin or Christian Kirk. Like I said before, don't get swindled. Don't get a Michael Pittman. Don't get Debo, which I like, but still not enough. Trying to get CD or Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase would be more of a realistic opportunity just because he's injured. CD Lamb, I don't think you have any chance of getting for those guys just because he is just the wide receiver one for Dallas. That means he's getting all the receptions that he can get. He looks phenomenal. Great league winner. You should have bought low when you had the chance. But moving on, Liam says, do you think I should try to trade Foreman? Personally, I would say yes. I would trade Foreman. I'm sorry, excuse me for the dogs in the back, but I would try to trade Foreman just because I think eventually his luck will run out. I do think he would still remain as that running back one guy. Hubbard has been dealing with some injuries. He did come back, and Foreman's still producing some great points. But if you could trade him, trade high. Don't settle for anything. Don't make any lateral trades. Trade high for Foreman. But yeah, always try to make your team better. I like it, Liam. Caden says, Caden the Colts fan, appreciate you being here. Love the profile picture. That's a great swing you got there. Says, would you trade D-Hop for Schultz and Higgins? Personally, no, I wouldn't. Unless you're oh yeah, you lost Goddard. Then I still wouldn't. If I were you, I would go try to find a Cole Kmet on the waiver wire or even a David Njoku on the waiver wire. If not, then I wouldn't give up D-Hop. D-Hop is a great league winner for you. He's been producing so many points. And T. Higgins, he's not going to be that wide receiver one whenever Jamar Chase comes back. So I wouldn't take that trade personally. Send me a trade. Let's see what you got. You got to run. I bet I do. I'm pretty sure it's Jonathan Taylor. Am I right? Let me know. Hit that like button if I am right. Leon says, what do you think I could trade Foreman for? Oh, well, it depends. What are you looking for? You're looking for a tight end, wide receiver, running back. If you're trying to make another running back trade, then I doubt you're trying to make another running back trade. If you're trying to trade for a wide receiver, then I'll keep on preaching. Go get yourself Chris Godwin. Go get yourself. I think he's worth a little bit more than a Christian Kirk. Try to get a Jalen Waddle. Honestly, I think he's around that price range. He's a little bit less than Jalen Waddle, but see if you can swindle someone like that, or go get yourself a CD Lamb. I think you'll be great in that trade. If you could get one of those guys, that would be a great win for you. But that's how high you got to be aiming, because Foreman right now, in the common eye, people see him as the go-to guy, right? He's a running back one starter for fantasy football, hands down. What about AJB for that same deal? AJB for, let's see what you have over here for D-Hop and Schultz. I'm running a blank right now. AJB, I'm trying to figure can't figure it out. Or CD. A CD, I'll definitely take that. Will you trade D-Hop for Higgins? Wait a minute. Are you getting Schultz, or are you trading away Higgins? If you're trading away Higgins, then get D-Hop and Schultz for sure, because I see that you lost Goddard. So I don't understand why you'll be going for a wide receiver here. So if you have Higgins and they're trying to trade you D-Hop and Schultz, then go ahead and get that for you. I knew it. Running back or wide receiver. Yeah, like I said, go get yourself those wide receivers. If you're looking for running backs, go buy low right now. I think this is the last week that you can do it. Jonathan Taylor, he's a league winner for the rest of the season. He's going to be doing great. You could package something up with a wide receiver and a running back, something low like a Deebo Samuel and a Rachaad White for Foreman. I think that would be a great win for you. But yeah, man. Try to go out there, see what you can get. Reed says, should I trade Cup for Debo? So we talked about this earlier, and I do know that you're referring to me because I'm trying to trade you Debo for Cup. This is a huge risk for whoever's trying to acquire Cup, right? Because whoever's trying to acquire Cup, he's only going to be available after the second week of playoffs for fantasy football. But that's the minimum. So right now, he did get placed on IR. So the minimum amount of time that he will be gone is 4 weeks. And it doesn't quite look like he will be able to come back after 5 weeks. It looks like he's going to be gone for a little bit longer. So that's a huge risk for whoever is trying to acquire Cup. So if you do have Cup and if you're trying to make a push for playoffs, I would say go for it. Trade him while you can, because if more news comes out where it says that the injury looks really bad, which they are saying it does look bad, they haven't got a timeline just yet. They're waiting in the next couple of days. Get rid of him. And this is straight up. If I had Cup, I'll try to get rid of him. It says I traded AJB for Godwin last week. I like that. I like Godwin a lot. Getting Schultz and Higgins. Oh, so you're getting Schultz and Higgins. Okay, I read that wrong. I'm so sorry about that. But should you trade D Hop for? If you're absolutely desperate for a tight end, Schultz is a great guy to pick up. D Hop is a huge loss. See if you could try to trade someone else. D Hop is a wide receiver 1 for any fantasy football team. I wanted to know if I trade away D Hop, AJB, or CD. Oh my gosh, that was a huge brain fart. Vince, for the longest time, I didn't know who AJB was. It's AJ Brown. Oh, huge. Yeah, you're muted, by the way. So if I were you, I'll probably trade AJB and not D Hop and CD. I like D Hop and CD way more than AJ. So trade AJ and Higgins for trade AJB for Higgins and Schultz. I like that. There you go. That's something I'll definitely do. Vince, as soon as you left, man, we got bombarded.
I know, man. I come back to see 18 comments, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Appreciate every single one of y'all. By the way, once we do hit 300 subscribers, which we are very close, we will be doing another giveaway, which is an autographed mini helmet, autographed jersey, or autographed football. So go out there, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps out a ton. George Cook says, a single QB league, have Burrow and Fields. Do I trade Fields, AJ Brown, and Dameon Pierce to get CMC, Lamb, half PPR? Woo, that's a lot right there. I think you're overpaying just a bit right there, especially if it's half PPR. CMC will get his touches. CD Lamb will absolutely feast. So you want CD Lamb on your team. But Dameon Pierce has been a consistent guy. And Justin Fields, his value has skyrocketed ever since. And I know AJ Brown has had a bad week. Was it yesterday? But that's because you got to remember, he tweaked his ankle early in the game. So he tweaked his ankle and it wasn't anything serious. So he was limited after that. I think you're overpaying here. If try to substitute someone out of there, but you are overpaying. I do like CMC and Lamb on your team, but if it was me personally, I would take the trade just because I think you're going to have a lot of value with CMC and Lamb, but how confident are you? You know, you're giving away 3 big time players for 2 big time players, and that's just not enough. I think you're giving away way too much.
Yeah, man, especially with Fields' upcoming schedule, I think you should be able to probably keep him. Maybe he won't be getting 40 points every single game, but I just think I agree with AJ here. AJ Brown and Dameon Pierce are a little too much along with Fields to give up for just CMC and Lamb, especially since we just saw that CMC and Elijah Mitchell are going to evenly be getting carries. So, yeah, that's just my opinion on that.
Yeah, Caden says he got Godwin for AJB. I think that's a win right there. I like consistency. Godwin will consistently get 12 points every single game, no matter what. So I like that a lot. D-Hop for JT. Katie, you're the guy that trades everyone and their mother, right? So I believe you said that last live stream that you trade everyone. D-Hop for JT, you're making a lateral move, just a different position. I think JT is the league winner for the rest of the season, but so is D-Hop. So I do like your team right now. You have D-Hop, AJB, and CD. So I think you're kind of solid. So if you need more running backs, JT is the way to go. Liam says Foreman and Palmer for Godwin. I get Godwin. Yeah, do it. I like it. Yeah, you want consistency. That's where it's at. Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I think Foreman's gonna start slowing down as soon as Chuba Hubbard gets back. They're gonna start splitting, and the Panthers are very, very inconsistent. Palmer is going to take the back seat. Keenan Allen. I see we have our next one of our next questions talking about Keenan Allen. I think once he gets back and once Mike Williams comes back into the fold, Palmer will not be a guy who's going to be in the starting lineup. Yeah, so that's a great trade to make.
Great trade. Let's just skip to this question first. Any updates on Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have been cleared of practice today, so they were at practice today. Just an FYI. I'm sorry, my throat's like super scratchy right now. It's really bad. Armando says, who should I try to get this next waiver, Pacheco or Rachaad White? I like both these guys. I'm kind of higher on Rachaad White in the long run just because he's a rest of the season type player. He's been taking snaps more and more from Leonard Fournette, and he is dealing with a minor hip injury, which he will come back going forward after the bye week. But the rumor has it from a reliable source, okay, has not done me wrong just yet, that Rachaad White will remain as the running back one. That's all I'm saying. I've been preaching this for how long, Vince? Like 5 weeks ever since we made that bet a long time ago. You're like, there's no way Leonard Fournette's going to lose his job to Rachaad White. And I was like, okay.
I was so mad that game because I needed him to get a certain amount of points for me to win. And then, like, AJ was just right. Rachaad White started taking a pretty big chunk out of Leonard Fournette's little deal on that offense. You know, a few weeks before that, he was going off for like 30-something points each game and then just dropped off out of nowhere.
Yeah, but both those guys I like a lot. Pacheco is clearly the running back one, first and second down back. He had 16 carries last week. He will not be getting any passes. So keep that in mind if you're in a full PPR, half PPR, or non-PPR. But Rachaad White in the long run is the more valuable guy to have. And I think Pacheco, don't quote me on this, but I highly believe that he will be available after waivers.
Yep.
After waivers have passed, I do believe that Pacheco will be available. I'll check that out right now.
Let's see. So it's George Cook. He says, I already have Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Higgins, and Mike Evans, as well as Kelsey. Holy shoot. That is a lineup for sure. I know that this week Kenneth Walker has a bye week and Mike Evans has a bye week. So you might need a little bit more in that starting lineup there. But I think, did he post his?
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. So he has Burrow, Fields. Oh, okay, that's why he's wanting to trade for CMC and Lamb. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a good trade, you know, just to fit in for that week. But if you guys can find something on the waiver wire, I think that's a little bit smarter. But just because I think that in this trade here, I think you're giving up too much. But with those guys that you have as well, I think maybe AJ Brown is a guy you could ship off.
Yeah, AJ Brown definitely.
Yeah.
But I like this Kenneth Walker, Saquon Barkley, and then you add CMC to the mix.
I know.
Gosh.
Imagine that. Triple-headed monsters right there.
Oh, my gosh. It kind of reminds me. I got Ramondre Stevenson, CMC, and now I got Kenneth Walker. Thank you so much, Vince. But, yeah, I love that. I love it. Do it. Do it, George.
As long as you win that league and nobody else does, I'll be cool with it.
Hey, I don't know. I'm hoping to do the impossible and stay undefeated. But, yeah, George, I would definitely do it. Go get yourself some studs. AJ Brown's a guy that you can ship off.
Let's see. He says, what about Henry and JT and Everett? So I think he also has posted his before, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
Do you need a tight end?
I mean, if he does, I mean,
well, I don't know Everett is it? Is it Everett from the Chargers?
I'm pretty sure that's what he means.
Yeah, I hope it's not the one for the Jaguars. But hey, I think JT's going to have a higher run than Henry. Henry's going to be consistent, but he's going to have those games where they just struggle all game long. And I feel like they're going to continue the rest of the season trying to play catch up. So they're going to abandon that run game and going through the air. So I like JT here.
Oh, okay. He says down here I'm going to go back to this one real fast.
Yeah.
He says his bad. He's like, I'm trying to go after Schultz. So I mean, yeah, I think Schultz is better than Everett for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Everett right now has been taking a big dip the past 2 weeks. I think he's been in single digits, not being a factor, and he's been also dealing with some injuries. So, yeah, I think Schultz would be the guy to go after for sure. Let's see. Let's see. Robert Christensen. He says, "Is
Whoa, whoa,
Benjamin?"
whoa, wait, Vince, wait. He's a
Go, go.
Seattle fan. We gotta skip this question.
No, you stop it. You stop it. We support the Seattle fans right here. You see this? I finally get some people in here that are of my culture, you know? But Benjamin is not going to take over Damian Pierce. No shot. Benjamin might be getting some passing downs in there because the Texans do not have the best pass catching backs for sure, but Damian Pierce can do very well. But I think it's going to take about a week or two for Benjamin to actually start getting some carries and getting some snaps in there. Um, he's just not the best. He is a good number 2 or number 3 running back, and Damian Pierce is the guy to go for. He is the workhorse, and he's going to continue doing that because Texans love him. I'm also a Texans fan, second to the Seahawks, and I've been keeping up with it. And they're posting Damian Pierce all over their feed on Instagram, Twitter. He's the guy. He's not going to get overtaken at all. No doubt. Swavy JP, ooh, we haven't seen you in a couple weeks, man. Nice to see you back. Says, what's up, y'all? What do you think about Swift, Higgins, and Pitts for Diggs?
I think he's offering this trade to Caden in his league. So I'm reading the comments right now, and Caden responds like, "That's a bad trade," and he put and then now he said, "I'll trade you Pitts and Swift." They're adding each other. He says, "Okay, so what do you think? What do you think about this trade? Swift, Higgins, and Pitts for Diggs?"
I mean, I like it.
No, don't do
I
Caden,
kind of
don't
like
do
it. It
You
just
like
depends.
it?
It just depends who he has, But
But you know who Caden has.
Caden is insane, though.
Yeah.
Caden
So
would
maybe
trade. Caden would trade his mom if he has him on his fantasy team. Caden trades everyone, man.
it's true. Caden does trade everyone. I don't know how he has the team that he has right now, but sorry, Swavy, I'm gonna have Caden's back here. I wouldn't do it. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Liam says in a 6-man family league, half PPR, rate the team QBs Hurts, Fields, Tua. Damn, you have 3 QBs. RBs are Kamara, Swift, Etienne, Williams. Wide receivers Devontae Adams, JJ, Olave, McLaurin, Cooper, tight end Kittle, and Joku. In a 6-man league.
I know it's a family league. That's why
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though. I like that.
I've been in family leagues before too. I won last year. I kind of destroyed our family, just how toxic I am. But honestly, I would expect. Don't take this the wrong way, Liam.
Yeah.
Okay, I would expect it a little bit better if it's a 6-man league. Trade away some of those QBs. Go get yourself some solid wide receiver depth. I like Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson. That's awesome, right? But get a better flex. I like Kamara. Kamara's okay. I think he's going to be horrible in the long run. Etienne, great. But who else do you have after that? You're holding Swift and Williams. Package up one of your QBs, package up Swift, and get yourself a solid running back like a Nick Chubb or something.
Yeah, it might be a little hard just because there's only 6 teams, so there's 5 other teams than you. But yeah, you definitely need to get either another top tier wide receiver or another top tier running back, especially to put in that flex because you already got Devontae Adams and at least Olave. McLaurin does good every now and then. And Cooper is very inconsistent. So yeah, he says I have an offer, Antonio or AJ Brown, Lamb, Dalvin for Adams and Mixon. No. If you're the one getting Adams and Mixon, I say no.
I like CeeDee Lamb and Dalvin Cook
more
than Adams and Mixon, believe it or not.
For sure.
Nick, I haven't seen this guy in a while. Says, who should I grab off the waivers? Gus Edwards, Isaiah Pacheco, Melvin Gordon, or Brian Robinson? Also, Paris Campbell and Gallup are available at wide receiver. You want to answer this one, Vince?
Let's see. What should I get? Gus Edwards, Isaiah Pacheco, Melvin Gordon, and Brian Robinson. So I actually have seen Paris Campbell. He's one of the guys I wanted to talk about. He had another game where he got 20 freaking points again. It's insane. It was just this past week. But it just depends on who you need, man. What's your biggest position of need? You need running backs or you need wide receivers? Because I see a little bit of both. If you need both, I would say probably Melvin Gordon is a good guy to have right now if you need him immediately. But Gus Edwards could possibly be a guy who you use in the long run. Maybe even Isaiah Pacheco. AJ really likes Isaiah
I love
Pacheco.
him.
So that's also I would do it in that order: Melvin Gordon, Gus Edwards, and Isaiah Pacheco if you need them right now. But if you need a long run for sure, it's Gus Edwards and Isaiah Pacheco because Melvin Gordon will probably slow down later on in the season. But if you need wide receiver, I'd say Paris Campbell. He's a little bit inconsistent, but he is a big boom guy, and he's only owned, I think, in like 1.7% of leagues. So he's definitely a guy who no one is looking at, but he is a guy who's under the radar. So when the Colts are doing good passing the ball, Paris Campbell is probably the reason for that because he gets a lot of yards. He's had 2 touchdowns in the past 3 games, so that's an upside as well. But Gallup, I haven't really been following Gallup. I think CeeDee Lamb is taking up a bunch of the
Yeah.
chunk of those receptions, and Schultz is right behind him. So I don't think Gallup is a guy who's going to consistently get you points, especially in the long run either. So yeah, I think Paris Campbell might be the guy, but there's also guys like Christian Watson. I mean, there's guys like
Kadarius
Darius,
Tony,
yeah,
Donovan
Darius
Peoples
Slayton.
Jones.
There's a bunch of guys, man,
Mhm.
out there on the waiver wire you can pick up who are way better than Gallup and more consistent than Paris Campbell. So just take a look. Um, a really good guy I like is Darius Slayton. Uh, Donovan Peoples Jones, I've talked about him the past few weeks, and I mean he's been going off. I mean, and maybe once Deshaun Watson comes back, we don't like the guy, but I think he could be passing a lot to Donovan Peoples Jones. So just keep that in mind.
Swaby says to get Robinson, Nick, and it's not a bad pick, but this is
Yeah.
why I don't like Robinson. I had him, I dropped him. They're sharing that backfield 50-50%. So there could be a couple games like last week or yesterday where Robinson goes out there, scores a touchdown, has a lot of yards, which looks great. But then you're gonna have that up and down. So not a bad pickup. If it was up to me, I'll go out there and grab Pacheco just because he is the clear running back one, that first, second down back. But I'm 100% confident that he will clear waivers. So go ahead and use that waiver pick on someone else and get Pacheco afterwards. Uh, Israel says, "Give me JT, AJ." Vince, what do you think about this trade? Should I give him Jonathan Taylor for George Kittle and Chris Olave?
No, man, I think it's just Israel's a little bit scared that I might beat him this week.
Oh,
I think that's the league he's talking about. Uh, but yeah, I say no. I think you hold on to JT. I was a JT non-believer earlier, but I could see him definitely being a guy who can win you some leagues. So
Reed saw my JT dance. I was doing my little dance because I was right.
when he was over at your place or what?
Yeah, he was like, stop it right now." Yeah,
Jesus.
this guy made 14 trades. That's
Oh
insane.
my jeez. I
I could
told you,
barely make
man.
two.
That's all his family right there. One trade after another. Boom, 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 boom.
Nick says QB Hurts, running backs are Connor, Cordero, Raheem, Pollard, White, Dylan, wide receiver Diggs, D Hop, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Jacoby Myers, tight end Kelsey. Any thoughts? Go reinforce your running backs. Vincent knows I'm not a believer on Cordero Patterson.
Cordero.
He is a 3-back by committee, so he's sharing that backfield way too much. So go out there, go trade him. Raheem the Dream is losing his job to Jeff Wilson Jr., so he will no longer be a stud back. Go out, trade some, make some trades, get some running backs. Go get Isaiah Pacheco, or you're the one that asked, right? Yeah, go get some running backs. Who's available for you? Gus Edwards will be good for this week and next week maybe, and then JK comes back.
Yep.
That's pretty it. Brian Robinson might have an upside for you, so I could agree with Swaby. Onto that deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Cruz Garcia, appreciate you being here. It says half PPR, 10-man league. Roster is Fields, ETN, Patterson, Hill, Lamb, Goddard, Pollard, benches, Dak, Schultz, Higgins, Rondell Moore, Garrett Wilson, Khalil Herbert, who is now injured, and Warren. Trades you suggest for playoffs?
I mean, in my opinion, I was high on Cordero Patterson, but the way I see them using him now, I think you need a better running back for sure. You don't have too much depth. You have Warren, but I think you need more depth at the running back position. Pollard can easily slide into that number 2 spot, but I trust running backs in the flex more than I do wide receivers. But you also have Moore from the Cardinals, so that could be something you could use for long term. But honestly, I think you just need big name guys. You have ETN, you have Hill, that's great, but they're both on bye weeks this week. So I think you need to go after some guys. We've been talking about what's his name from the Buccaneers, who you really
Rashad
like.
White.
Rashad White. He's a guy who could be long term for you, who could actually get you more than 10 points every single week going into the end of the season. They have a favorable schedule. Wide receivers, I think you're good right now. You got Lamb, Moore, Garrett Wilson. I think those guys can carry you. Higgins will be a plug and play guy for sure. I think he's great at tight end with Schultz. He's going to be riding into the season on a white horse with Dak Prescott throwing to him every week. So I think he's good, honestly. I
He's
don't know.
really good. I
Yeah.
like this a lot. Even with your backup tight end, there's just two names I don't like on your starting lineup, and now that we're getting closer to the playoff contention, I'll try to replace Patterson and Goddard. You have
Mhm.
stud guys on your bench like T. Higgins, who have a lot of value right now, Rondell Moore, who has a lot of value right now, and Garrett Wilson, who has a lot of value right now. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase is coming back. Rondell Moore, you have Brown coming back. Garrett Wilson, you have Moore coming back. I mean, they're going to be sharing the ball more and more. So the time to sell them is right now, and get yourself an Alec Pierce, get yourself a Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook. Even if you can't get that high, go out, get yourself a Kenneth Walker. He just got off a bad game, so maybe they don't believe in him. Someone of that sort. I would even prefer Dante Foreman over Patterson at this point.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm starting to think that as well. I think I'm going to take Patterson out of my lineup, but I'm just needing some guys to put in there. So, yeah, I agree with that. Patterson for sure is the guy to ship out
Yeah, for
or
sure.
replace.
Yeah.
Full context, he says 8-2, 10-man PPR. His quarterbacks are Lamar and Fields. Running backs are Chubb, Etienne, Walker, Swift, and Jeff Wilson.
Huge dub.
Okay. Oh, he's got Elijah Mitchell too, right off of the
Nice.
IR. Nice, I like it. Wide receivers are Monra, AJ Brown, and Higgins. He's got Kelsey and Pitts at tight end as well. Not bad at running back, bro. I mean, you can definitely ship off Swift and Jeff Wilson, in my opinion. Keep on to Elijah Mitchell, but definitely beef up the wide receivers. You have four very good running backs that you can revolve around, and if one of them gets hurt, the other one's the next man up. But wide receivers, you're a little shy there, you know. Amon-Ra is going to be good. AJ's been talking about Amon-Ra going into the ending of the season. He's going to be a great guy. He just scored 15 points this past week, so he's coming back for sure. AJ Brown had a bad week. He'll be rebound, but Higgins, I think you need to get someone better than Higgins. Maybe maybe a D Hop if you can swing it. Honestly, just check those guys in your league and see who's hurting at running back. Because I'm pretty sure there is a guy hurting at running back since you have like 6 running backs right now.
He's in the same league as Caden, which I can see why Caden's not winning that league anymore. This guy is absolutely stacked. So good for you. He's saying trade Swift, Higgins, and Pitts for Diggs. If you can get Diggs on your team for those guys, I would say yeah, do it. If you can get Diggs, I like it. Abram Pena says, "What's up, guys? New to the channel and always subscribe." Hey, Abraham, appreciate you so much. I just looked right now. We are 10 subscribers away from doing another giveaway. Yes, we do giveaways on this channel. It seems like a lot now. We did one like 2 weeks ago. We are going to give away a random autographed mini helmet, jersey, or football. So make sure you stay subscribed and help us out and get us 10 more subscribers, and then that giveaway will be out there. So appreciate you being here, Abraham. Thanks for supporting the channel. Caden the Colts fan says, "You're telling me you'd flip JT for Henry straight up?" I believe when we're talking about that, we're talking about a PPR league. So if we are talking about PPR league, definitely yes. If it's non-PPR league, I would definitely consider it because, like I said, Tennessee Titans have been struggling. I could see them for the rest of the season trying to play catch up to whatever team they are playing up against, which they do have a tougher schedule, and passing out the ball. And Derrick Henry does not catch the ball. JT, on the other hand, yeah, they're going to be playing catch up the whole time. But JT, he's the wide receiver 1 and running back 1. So he will be getting all those pass catches and more opportunity to score fantasy points, not just in the end zone, but when it comes to yardage.
Yep.
I see them as the same. Okay. Yeah, JT does have a higher upside. Abraham has a question that says, would you trade Pittman and Jacobs for JT and Hopkins? I'm not even going to read the rest of the question. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
If you could get that done, go get yourself Jonathan Taylor. Go get yourself D Hop. D Hop by itself, I would trade for Pittman and Jacobs. So if
Yep.
you're getting JT on top of that, great for you. You have Sanders, Najee, Jefferson, Boyd. Yeah, to replace Najee, Sutton will be good for the time being. Traylon Burks, I do feel like will have a slight upside now that Ryan Tannehill is coming back and Burks is coming back healthy. I know he played last week, wasn't that big of a game, but he will have a bigger upside.
Yeah, man. In my opinion, instead of putting Jacobs in there, put Najee. Jacobs is a little bit more consistent and he has a bigger boom factor. Najee's been consistent with like 12 to 15 points a week, but Jacobs has the ability to be a lot better. So if you can throw Najee with Pittman and still get JT and Hopkins, I think you're golden.
So I learned this, Vince. Sometimes you can't be too aggressive because then they back away from the trade.
This is true.
You
This
know,
is true.
so it's up to you. If you got a good connection with the guy, then offer Najee. If not, then I'll just take when you could get.
Yeah.
Suave says Quez Watkins is a sleeper, 12 to 14 man leagues. Quez Watkins, with Goddard out, they will probably use a lot more than 3 wide receivers. Yeah, you're an Eagles fan. Look at you, man. Real convenient that you're an Eagles fan this year. But anyways, nah, just kidding. I know, right? That's such a good trade by Abraham. So hopefully he can get that. It says I have 15 trades this year. Only player on my roster that I drafted is Chubb. I guess now we know who Caden's been trading with. Dylan says I'm 7-3 and just lost Cup. Ouch, dude. Hey, a little moment of silence. That's enough. Should I trade Barkley and Jamar Chase for Justin Jefferson and Kamara? Barkley, Kamara, Jamar
Yeah.
Chase, Jefferson. I don't like it, dude. I'm sorry. Jamar Chase will have a huge upside whenever he does come back healthy. I do believe he has a lot of potential fantasy wise, but Saquon Barkley, you can't trade him for Kamara.
Nope. Not with the first year where he's actually healthy all year. The Giants love him so much. They even tried to extend him in mid-season, but it just hasn't gone through. Yeah, I think you hold off on that.
Suave says, I don't like Miami's playoff schedule. Week 15 at Buffalo, then Green Bay, then New England for the championship. Cold weather plus Tua worries me. Here, let me let me get the blanket, put it over you, and tell you a little bedtime story. Okay. So this is what I like. They've been calling the Miami Dolphins the Miami 49ers, and that's basically true. The Niners do very well in cold weather. I know it's not the Niners, but it is a Niner play style. They got themselves a Debo, which is Tyreek Hill. They got themselves a CMC, which is Jeff Wilson. They got themselves, they have a great running game. So what they're going to do, you got to rely on people like Tyreek Hill, which they're going to change up the packages where you're going to see him in the backfield, get him more utilized and not so much deep shots. The creativity on offensive play style is there and will adjust. So I do trust in Mike McDaniel out there in Miami. I wouldn't be too worried. It's okay to be worried, but those guys are studs, especially people like Tyreek Hill, and it ain't their first rodeo and being in cold weather and against defenses like that. They're trying to stay on top. Remember that. They want to stay on top of Buffalo, and I think they will. They're going to stay on top of New England, and I know they will. And Green Bay, sorry, Reed, but they're gonna.
Yeah.
No.
He caught a break with the Cowboys, but I don't know about the rest of the season.
He says, Dylan, if you could hang for another week, I think you could keep Barkley. Yeah, you can't give up Barkley, man. Can't. Nick says, I'm trying to target better running backs at these, and these guys are on my radar. Kenneth Walker, yes. Ramondre Stevenson, yes. Kamara, nah. ETN, yes. Who do y'all prefer? And looking back at my team, who would I give up?
Let's see. Look back at his team real fast. See if I can find
While he's looking for your team, I'm going to go ahead and rank these guys. I got Kenneth Walker, ETN, Stevenson. Those are my rankings, just about how much to get utilized. Cordell Patterson, you give up. Raheem Mostert, you give up. Even Pollard, you could give up.
Yeah, especially if you're getting at least 2 of those guys. Yeah, I would give up all 3 of those guys we just mentioned.
DJ Moore, Jacoby Myers, Ayuk. Remember, we're talking about playoffs now. You got to trade away your good to great guys to get great elite guys, right? And all those guys, except for Kamara, are great elite guys. So trade away your guys, or package them up. Give them a Cordell Patterson, which is a lot of eye candy right now. Give them Brandon Ayuk, which is a lot of eye candy right now because they've been doing so well. And go get yourself a Kenneth Walker, a league winner like Ramondre Stevenson, and I forgot who else you had on there.
Yep.
And Etienne, Travis Etienne is an absolute league winner, feasting. But yeah, if it's PPR, you got to go Kenneth Walker and Etienne or same thing. Kenneth Walker, Etienne, Ramondre.
Yep. I mean, Ramondre's been pretty good in the past game too, so I would argue maybe he's even number 2 there. But if you can get Etienne, he's the only guy there. So Ramondre Stevenson does have other guys eating into his production. But Etienne is the only guy there. So, yeah, pretty good.
Carter says Giants or Niners defense this week. So Giants are going up against the Detroit Lions, who have been producing some points no matter what. So they just faced a very poor Chicago Bears. I'm still going to say very poor team. And they put up a lot of points. They went out and they won that game. Niners have the best run defense in the league right now. Their pass defense has been getting better. And the best thing about this is that there's no home field advantage here. They're going to be playing in Mexico on Monday. And even though it is a divisional game, which it probably will be close, I think the Niners defense will have more points in value than the Giants. But Vince, you want to answer this question? Because mine could be a little biased.
No, man, I think you're right. The Giants are pretty scarce on defense right now. Maybe sometimes they do get an interception and they might take it for a touchdown, but it's very rare and you can't rely on that. The 49ers are just consistent. And like you said, there's no home field advantage. So I think the 49ers are for sure to go here. They are a top 5 defense on fantasy, I believe. So just speaks for itself. Cody Armour, he says, I'm getting desperate in this league, but I'm giving up too much, offering Pollard, Pierce, and Freiermuth for Amari Cooper and Kittle. Oof, yeah, I think you said it well in those first 6 words there, my guy. You said, I'm getting desperate in this league. And I think if you're trading away Pollard and Pierce to get Amari Cooper and Kittle, I think you just reiterated that. Not to bash on you too hard, but yeah, I would keep Pollard and Pierce. Freiermuth is doing decent. Amari Cooper is, like I said earlier in this video, he's inconsistent. Kittle, he's been doing better. They've been utilizing him a little bit more now that they have a more complete offense with so many stars. But yeah, I just think you're downgrading there a lot.
Big time, yeah. I wouldn't do that trade. You are offering a little bit too much. I like Pierce and Freiermuth more than Amari Cooper and Kittle, and that's because I love Kittle.
Yeah.
Caden, he just made a trade right now. He says, I just traded AJB and Goddard for Schultz and Higgins. Nice. Probably was a loss, but Schultz and Goddard are a wash. Hey, man, you need a tight end. You got yourself a tight end. Congratulations, man. Good for you. Good for you. If it's a win-win on both sides, it's possible. It happens. Yeah. Vince and I did it. Good for you, man. Nick says, just got offered Kamara for D-Hop. I don't know if I like it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. Don't let them disrespect you like that, Nick. Send him a picture of you flicking them off.
Oh, God.
I bet you don't have anyone drafted. You kind of convinced on Miami. Okay. I was shying away from this trade offer. What do you think? Fields, Swift, Higgins for Tyreek and Kyler. Are you getting Tyreek and Kyler?
I would
do that. If you could get Tyreek Hill, hell yeah. Kyler Murray, he's going to be a top 6 fantasy QB, so why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, he is. Once he comes back and actually plays and to be healthy, he's been passing the rock quite frequently. D-Hop, Moore, and now, what's his name? Hollywood Brown's probably going to come back in the next 2 weeks off of IR. He's going to be slinging it, and those guys are going to catch the ball regardless of who he's throwing to, so. Yeah, I would take it.
That's your Super Bowl pick is Miami? Good for you, wow. Man. I picked in the beginning of the season. I picked who did I picked the Bills and I picked the Vikings.
Yeah.
That's what I picked. I think the offense is the best in the league. Hey, it's the Niners offense just rolling right now. Is Daniel Jones a good stream this week versus the Lions? This too is on a bye. I actually talked about Daniel Jones at the beginning of this podcast. I was saying he's a great stream this week. He's going up against the worst fantasy defense, the worst defense in general in the league. So you best believe he's going to be feasting it up over there right before Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure you could agree with me right here, right, Vince?
Yeah, man. If Daniel Jones is still there, he's a good guy to have. He does average about 15 points, but he has a great upside when he plays horrible defenses. So it says trade Hawkinson for Pickens and Monty. He says he has Pat Freiermuth already. Oof. Hawkinson has been doing decent. He's about a 12-point per game guy. Pat Freiermuth is about an 8 to 10-point guy. So, I mean, I'm not high on Pickens. He hasn't been producing. And I know AJ's not high on Monty either, but if you need help there, I would go somewhere else, honestly. I think you need a little bit of more consistent players. Even though the other running back, or what's his name, is on IR.
Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert. I think Monty is not going to see too much more production because Justin Fields is their running back one, as AJ said earlier.
I still think this is a win. I think this is a win because he has Pat Freiermuth. And you guys got to remember, people like Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews are ruining the tight end game for fantasy football. If your tight end is averaging 7 or 8 points, that's a great win for you. Great job. And Pat Freiermuth is doing so. So if you could get anything, if you have 2 tight ends, if you get anything for a tight end, like Montgomery, who is now the clear wide running back one, which it's really Justin Fields, but he's still going to be getting the carries and the touches. I think that's a good win for you. I think Monty could be a great flex for your team, especially if Freiermuth. Win, but you could get more from like what Vince is saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move my mic so I'm not too loud. Darius says, I need help, guys. Should I trade for ETN? Yes, you should trade for ETN. He is a league winner. Oh, sorry, I didn't see Hop.
Andre Hop.
Yeah, I didn't see Hop. Why do you need help?
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one for sure. But
so I said this earlier. That's a lateral move, just different position. ETN is going to be great, right? But how are you as far as your wide receiver positions? How are your running back positions? We'll help you out, dude. We answer every single question here that is on the live chat. So take your time, ask us or tell us who you got, and we could give you the best advice that we could possibly give. I get Tyreek and Cut. Dude, do it.
Yeah,
do it. Stop wasting time. Stop watching this right now. Go press yes on that trade right now before it's
turn that 15 amount of trades to 16 because that's one you got to do.
Nick Forrester, he says, what about Dalvin Cook? He said, because before his last comment said, I just got offered Kamara for D-Hop. Dalvin Cook for D-Hop, you're making a lateral move, but in a different position. So if you need the running back, that's where to go. But D-Hop is a clear league winner. He is a wide receiver one fantasy-wise, and so is Dalvin Cook. But I'm just afraid. I have a feeling he's going to get injured.
Yeah.
It's just written in the stars, man. But Nick, I do want to say thank you. He did just subscribe, so appreciate you, Nick, for hitting that subscribe button. You're helping us out a lot. And like I said, once we hit 300 subscribers, which we are now 9 subscribers away, we will be doing another giveaway. So go out there, share this with your friends. I know Caden did. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's give back to you guys. Let's see, he just got offered Devontae for Dalvin. Devontae Adams for Dalvin Cook. I like Dalvin Cook more here.
Yeah, that's just me too. Devontae on the Raiders right now, they look like they're crumbling. I'm not too sure how much longer he can go, but
I could tell.
Yeah, they're offering him like crazy for sure.
I could tell. He says, who should I flip Higgins for? Go get someone who's going to be a wide receiver one all season long. Or not even a wide receiver, get fantasy wide receiver one, which is like Chris Godwin. You could buy low on him. Christian Kirk, you could go buy low on him.
Shoot, maybe even D-Hop, honestly, if you can somehow flip that. But
that's like 90% of our questions, right, Vince? It's like D-Hop. Yeah. D-Hop is involved.
You got to get D-Hop right now. He's the hottest guy. He's the most consistent guy. at the 20-point mark at least. He's like compared to Diggs, honestly.
Yeah.
But he's just so far down, as AJ said earlier in the live. I mean, he just hasn't played all season. You know, he was suspended for first 6 games.
Yeah, he would definitely be like ranked third or fourth right now if he wasn't suspended. Nick Forrester says, also, I got offered Najee for Cordero last week, and I feel like I should have taken it. Honestly, you should have. That's a minor L, my king, but keep your chin up high. There's still some hope for you, my man. Najee, after the bye week, the Steelers have finally know what they're going to do with the running backs. Najee will be that first, second down back, and Jalen Warren will be that third down back. But it's okay. Not a huge loss. I wouldn't lose sleep over it. Let's see. Cody Armour says, I have to offload my RBs at some point. Already have Cook and Kenneth Walker in the third. I plan to keep one guy between Connor, Swift, Pierce at the flex, but it makes no sense to keep them all on my team. It does if you're afraid of an injury. One guy I would definitely get rid of is Swift. Connor and Pierce, I'm a Connor guy. Vincent knows this.
Yep.
And
he did good this past week too.
They just cut, Benjamin.
Yep.
How crazy is that? They just cut him. I like Connor a lot. Pierce, a lot of people are worried that he's going to be sharing some reps with Benjamin now. It's not going to happen. Try to trade Swift if you absolutely need to. Package him up with Pierce or Connor. I love those guys, but if you can, keep them both. Use one of them as a flex and then use one of them as a backup to a backup. Assistant to the assistant regional manager.
Yep, you gotta keep some guys on the bench too, man. You never know when injuries can happen.
Big Money Joe, dude, what's up? How's Japan, dude? Pew pew, man. Missed you out here in our last few live streams, but glad you made it here. I wonder what time it is over there, but always appreciate you.
Daytime over there, bro.
Oh, probably. Hey, go eat some good sushi for me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Craving sushi right now. And so I haven't eaten dinner. I'm like, my fiance already came up, gave me the stare, like, "Hey, dude, I'm working here." Darius Brown, he got back to us. He says he has AJ Brown, Waddle, D Hop, and Juju. And 5 and 5 RBs are Walker and Monty. D Hop for ETN advice. You definitely need another
good way, another running back. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. Go trade Juju. I don't know if he has any value now that he's hurt, but see if you can trade Juju for Rachaad White. If you could do that, definitely an upgrade. I know ETN is the guy. Trade AJ Brown. Juju or AJ Brown. You got to keep Waddle. You got to keep D-Hop. That's your cream of the crop right there.
Yep.
Can't lose those guys. You're making a lateral move. You're going to be in the same situation next week and in 3 weeks from now. If you make that move, I like it, but not that much. Tanner Nelson says, order these RBs in order for fantasy PPR rest of the season. Aaron Jones, Dameon Pierce, Travis Etienne, Nick Chubb, James Conner. Okay.
This will be a toughie right here, honestly.
So first off is Travis Etienne. That's number one, hands down. And this is where it gets tough because Nick Chubb doesn't catch a lot of balls, but he has been getting more involved there. They've been, straying away from Kareem Hunt. So I got Travis Etienne here. I want to go.
I think I might go James Conner, honestly.
Okay, hear me out. I'm just going to go quick. Travis Etienne, Aaron Jones, James Conner, Dameon Pierce, Nick Chubb.
For PPR?
No, scratch that. Etienne, Aaron Jones, James Conner, Nick Chubb, Dameon Pierce.
PPR. Yeah, I think that's the better one right there. Yeah, for sure.
I like Nick Chubb way too much. So yeah, Travis Etienne, Aaron Jones, because you see them running the ball a lot more, and you see Aaron Jones getting a lot of receptions as well, even though they have been playing very poorly. James Conner, they just lost Benjamin. He is that running back one as far as pass catching and running the ball. He's not going to share any touches. Nick Chubb, because they have been straying away from Kareem Hunt, and he is getting that workload every single game. And then Dameon Pierce, just because of that piss poor offense, but they do utilize him a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Big Money Joe says, smash that like, y'all. Subscribe as well so we could grow the community. Heck yeah, just like Big Money Joe, we appreciate you so much. Let's grow this community. Like I said, we are, I believe, 9 subscribers away from doing yet another giveaway. You guys, so hit that subscribe button, share this with your friends. Let us grow together because we just want to give back to you guys. Just say it thanks. But thank you, Big Money Joe, all the way from Japan. See if they have a San Antonio roll out there. That's my favorite roll. I doubt they have it.
I don't think they know.
Nah, they probably don't know that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You want to read this question up next?
Yeah, man. It says, what QB duo would you rather have? Fields and Kyler or Lamar and Kyler? I'm about to trade one of Fields or Lamar with Swift and Higgins for Tyreek and Kyler. This is a hard one. I think I'm going to go Lamar and Kyler here. They're both really good running quarterbacks there, and they do have the receivers and tight ends there on both of their teams to go ahead and get points passing. Right now, Fields is just having a field day on his field. I said Fields like 3 times there. He's only doing really well because he's running the ball for over 120 yards every single game. That's the 12 points that's getting him to close to 40. That's going to die down soon. He's still going to get like 50, 60 yards, but he doesn't have the capability of throwing to commit all the time because teams will catch on. They're going to double cover commit in the end zone. It's not going to last forever. But with Lamar and Kyler, they are at their floor right now at about 19 to 21 points, but they still have the ability to get up to 30. So, in my opinion, I would go Lamar and Kyler here.
Couldn't agree more. I think you said it best. It says Juju and Monty for ETN. If you could pull that off, good for you, my man. I would say that would be the best trade in history, but we've seen a lot of trades in this channel so far, and I cannot believe. Can't believe the AJ Brown disrespect. It's not too much disrespect, but every time someone shows us a team, like who should they trade for, they always have like D Hop, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and they have AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown is the lowest of them all. He is a great wide receiver for fantasy football. So it's not so much disrespect. It's just that you could see that inconsistency, right? And just because he tweaked his ankle very beginning of last night, he disappeared. By far, he disappeared, and you don't want that to happen to you when come playoff time. So that's it. It's not so much disrespect. I have a lot of respect for AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my wide receivers right now are Diggs, D-Hop, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Myers, and he says, I'm getting offers for D-Hop, but I don't want to lose that Diggs D-Hop combo. Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose it either. It says, would I be okay trading D-Hop?
Oversell the shit out of it.
Yeah, you got to get something insane back, honestly. And it can't be like an even swap. Like, it has to be someone who's like up. Like their ceiling is super high and their floor is super high. So I don't know who you could get, in my opinion, that tops D-Hop right now.
Yeah, no, everyone wants him because they know his value. Yeah. Caden says, what about T. Higgins for Kamara? Not crazy about it, but I think I would take it.
Yeah, I feel like that one's kind of a little bit of a lateral move too. But as soon as Jamar Chase comes back, T. Higgins will take a little bit of a dip, but not too much. It'll be like a point or two. Kamara, just like we've been talking about, the Saints have been in trouble since week 2, right, AJ?
Yeah.
Kamara's not going to be doing any better than he is right now. So
when all those guys were talking trash about us.
Yeah, man. They know what they're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about. Says trade away Jeff Wilson and Michael Pittman for James Conner. I would 100%. Yeah. Yep. Like Jeff Wilson, you're going to see him a big upside, but he's going to be sharing the ball a lot with Mostert. Not too much. I think it's going to be a 60-40 split, but I like James Conner way too much. There's no sharing over there. I hate sharing. Reed McCall says, I can't believe how much the Packers are getting trashed right now since I'm not there. Who is this guy?
I don't know, but he used the wrong there and he corrected himself a little bit, but yeah.
Nick Forster says, would you do D-Hop and Pollard for ETN and Waddle? Yeah.
Yeah?
Do it.
I would.
That's a good compromise right there. Nick, I applaud you. That's a great compromise that you just did. D Hop for Waddle. I think Waddle's going to be consistently getting points no matter what. And then Pollard for ETN. You took 3 steps forward with that.
Mhm.
So, dude, yeah, if you can get that done, get it done. Good for you, man.
Yeah, man. And to the other guy, it looks like an even trade, but you're definitely winning that in the long run.
Yeah. Or Cordero instead of Pollard. Try to get rid of Cordero if you can, but don't get greedy. You don't want to scare him off at the same time.
Mhm.
Abraham says, would Hawkinson for Keenan Allen and Monty be better? Who was the other one?
I'm not sure. It's way up there somewhere.
Oh, dang. Wait, we got a lot of comments. Appreciate every single one of you guys for commenting. It says, would you
Yeah,
trade Pittman? Oh, sorry.
get it over here. Sorry. Yeah. For Pickens and Monty.
Oh, yeah. Keenan Allen and Monty would be way better. Way better. Him and Mike Williams just got cleared of practice. So they were at practice today. I saw that he is back. Yeah. Yep, he is back at practice. So Keenan Allen would be way better, especially when people have no hope for him, which is kind of really low, but there's still that opportunity for him to still be a great wide receiver for you. Liam says, just traded Foreman and Palmer for Godwin. I get Godwin. W or loss. Hey man, I'm just kidding. That's a great dub right there. That's a great dub, man. Yeah, super proud of you. Easy dubs. I love Godwin. Consistently getting 12 points every single week. You don't have to worry about him. I think last week he had 19 points. Good for you. Good trade right there. You're gonna appreciate it in the long run. Guarantee it. Cody says, okay, Pierce and Swift for Kirk and Drake London. I think I'll trade. Okay. I don't like the receivers from Atlanta, just because they only pass the ball, 16 times a game, which is just not enough to share the ball. Christian Kirk, I like that. I think you could possibly get away with that, but Drake London has no value in that trade. I'll tell you that right now. So, I'll try countering that. Do something else. But yeah, because Kirk, you could have some games where it's just like a 9-point game, but you will be getting the opportunities.
I don't know about trading Pierce there. Maybe someone else like as a lower caliber and Swift for Kirk and Drake. But then again, Drake London is not the best. He had a good game this past week, but I don't see them replicating that too often at the end of the season.
I want to skip. I'm still going to talk about these comments, but I want to skip to Rave real quick just to show my thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much, my guy, for hitting that subscribe button. Once we hit 300 subscribers, we will be doing another giveaway, an autograph giveaway. So help us reach our goal, and we'll give back to you guys. Let's help build this community. He says, I just traded Sutton for Singletary. I have Godwin, DJ Moore, Hollywood, and Cooper already. Good dub for you, my man. I like that. I trashed on Sutton all year long. I never liked him, even though Jerry Jeudy is injured and Sutton's value has gone up. You saw it last week. Devin Singletary, he's that workhorse for that team. So until next year, he will lose value. But Singletary right now, it's great. I like it. Good job. Good trade. And thank you for subscribing. I'm not just saying it because you subscribe to. This is 100% honest. You can even ask Vince here. He hates me.
Yep. He's talked about it all season.
Says Higgins for Sanders.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sanders
Lateral
right now,
move.
Yeah, I think it's a lateral move. And Sanders right now, we just saw the Eagles for the first time be trailing in a game and lose. And Sanders was irrelevant.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I would say keep Higgins.
The only reason why Sanders has been so great this season is because the Eagles have been undefeated, and now that they face a challenge, which going forward, they're going to continue to face challenges, you're going to see less and less play time, or productivity from Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos play says trade Jacobs and Olave for Hill. Without looking at your team, I would say yes, but I would love to see who you have on your team. But Jacobs will be a huge loss, but I think Tyreek Hill, he's the fantasy wide receiver 1 right now. If you could get him, it's good for you.
Yep.
Take it away, Vince.
Let's see. I talk all this poop about trading, but I'm 8-2 RN. He's like, and I don't know if I want to move my team around a lot, but I need a running back. Well, man, I mean, if you need that running back for sure, you got to trade because right now on the waiver wire, I'm assuming there's not too much. You can pick up a guy who would probably get you like 10 points, but I know at 8-2, you're looking for those guys who are going to lead you into the playoffs and get you the dubs. So you're going to have to trade for guys like Chubb, like ETN, Kenneth Walker. You're going to have to trade for, even guys like Mixon. We don't talk a lot about Mixon, but Mixon has been doing pretty good. So he could possibly be a guy to help you, but his schedule is very, very tough. So you just got to look at the schedules, man. Look at all the top running backs and look at those schedules and see who you can get.
So let me tell you something, Nick. I'm not saying this to gloat on myself or whatnot, but in my leagues, I'm in 3 leagues. In 2 of those leagues, I'm undefeated. I'm 10-0. I am probably I know it, right? I'm probably one of the most annoying guys in that league because I every single week I ask everyone, hey, what do you want for this guy? Who do you want for this guy? Let's trade. Let's make this trade. Let's do this. And week after week after week after getting rejected, every week's a different story. It is. And I finally hit this week, it's good stuff. So I like my team. I'm 10-0. It's a solid team. I haven't lost, and it's been, I don't want to say blowout games, but I've been winning by a good bunch. And I still want to get my team perfect. There's no such thing, right? But you want the best possible situation for yourself when it comes to the playoffs, because you all know, everyone in this chat knows, when you go to the playoffs, there's going to be that one game that someone else has that just destroys your team single-handedly.
Yep.
So you're overthinking it. I think it's good that you're trying to better your team. Good for you, my man. Abraham says, what do you think about Sutton or Boyd the rest of the season? Which one should I start at my flex? You can't start any of them for the rest of the season. Sutton will probably be the best guy to do so, just because Jerry Jeudy is gone and we don't know that time frame just yet. But Boyd, rest of the season, his productivity is going to go down, especially when Jamar Chase comes back. Once he comes back, Boyd's going to be, hate to say it, but irrelevant. Yeah. Okay. You didn't say it. I was like, wow, I like this guy. Cody Arbor says counter with Pollard and Swift for London and Kirk. If you get that, I'd say yeah, sure, why not?
I would say that's a better trade, more even.
Yeah, Pierce is too much. You get too weird, too much. They use him way too much. I said too much. Cam says I just got offered Swift and Godwin for AJ Brown and Brian Robinson non-PPR. Thoughts? I like Godwin a lot. I'd honestly take Godwin over AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I do that. Swift over Brian Robinson.
That's the yellow flag for me right there. I don't know if Swift's going to come back at all.
But is it? I think you have more of an opportunity with Swift than you do with Brian Robinson. Because Brian Robinson is going to share that ball 50-50. So you're going to have games where he's up and down. And right now he's so high. You're taking a chance.
Yeah,
I say do it. You're not losing much here. If Swift doesn't pan out, you're not losing much.
I don't know. My only thing is it's non-PPR, and Godwin gets a lot of his points from catches. He's not always a guy who's going to get a bunch of yards. Like, he's usually averaging around 50 to 60. But this past game, he got about, 70, 80. So that's just my thing there. But, again, it's hard in non-PPR leagues, honestly. So running backs are, really good because they get yards all the time, but it's always a toss-up for wide receivers because they take away from their reception production.
I do want to say that Swift did come out on the media and said that he was frustrated with the limited use that he was getting.
Ooh.
So that could be a game changer. Like I said, I would take the chance and go for it because I have Godwin in a non-PPR league. And like I said, he gets a consistent 12 points a game at very least. So he does just enough every single game where AJ Brown, he's going to do more than enough and then do less than nothing. So if I were you, I'd take the chance. That's just me. Would you, Vince, or not?
I mean, I don't see why not, especially if Godwin is going to start getting touchdowns more often, which he probably will because Tom Brady's been playing a lot better. I could see it being something that benefit him for sure.
Swavy JP says, I sent Field, Swift, Higgins for Hill, Murray trade. Why am I not totally content with this?
I know there's something.
I
I
think
feel
you're
like we
not
both
content.
know.
I like it. I think that's a huge win for you, dude. Remember, Justin Fields, he looks phenomenal right now. But you got to remember, it's the Bears. How long can he
Yeah.
keep that up fantasy wise? And everyone was on that high when Daniel Jones was doing it, right? And now what? He's left for scraps. Justin Fields going to have great games, but he cannot be relied on. Not like Kyler Murray, fantasy wise. You should be content with this, man. Good for you. Hey, good for you, man. You look great. Good for you.
Yeah,
Oh,
especially with Lamar on your bench right now too.
dude, look at you, man. You look phenomenal. Gee whiz. Hope that makes you feel better. Abraham says, I have Kirk Cousins and Marcus Mariota. Thoughts on my QB situation? Yuck. Not to be rude, but yeah, I don't like that at all.
They're both
Um,
the same right now, man. Kirk Cousins is like averaging 15. His high is like 20 sometimes. The same thing for Marcus Mariota. Whenever Marcus Mariota can actually run the ball, he starts getting into the mid 20s. But they're just the same kind of guy, honestly.
have you seen that video where it's like everyone is Kirk Cousins? You
Yeah,
have old Kirk Cousins, handsome Kirk Cousins, like Jimmy G. It's funny, but
that's what this is, man. Yeah,
I trust Kirk Cousins. He has a better team around him. And
yeah.
Marcus Mariota, he might have legs, but throwing 16 times a game just not going to cut it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The HAP disrespect is insane. With that, I take the Swift side. Oh my gosh. Hey man, I'm sorry, but we could be wrong. We're not perfect, but I do a lot of research on these guys. The non PPR is a good point. Yeah, thank you. Jeez. Also, unfortunately, one of the leagues that we're playing is a non PPR, which I absolutely hate. I've talked to the commissioner, but they all hate me over there. They all hate me, hate Vince, hate Reed for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
they do. It's dumb.
Jacob Anders says, should I trade Gino for Singletary? I have Cousins as my starter in a 1 QB league. PPR. If you could trade a quarterback for Devin Singletary, do it.
Do it, yeah.
Do it. Just do it.
You'd be making up like the 2 or 3 points that you're gonna get from Gino with Singletary immensely. So I say that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Caitlin Close fans, I think I just got Henry and Higgins for JT and Connor done. Henry and Higgins for JT. Okay, I like it. You got
Yeah.
JT and Connor? Like it. 100%. Good for
Yeah.
you, Caden. Like it. Cody says, how do you value Dalvin Cook? Is he close to Hill in your opinion? Dalvin Cook's definitely a league winner, but Hill's on another planet right now. As far as my fiance's giving me the look again.
She's like, it's already gonna
She's
be
like,
8.
I'm hungry. Honestly,
If you can
Tyreek
get
Hill,
yeah.
yeah, if you get Hill for Cook, it's great. Having Dalvin Cook on your team is great as well, but Hill's just slightly above Dalvin Cook just because I feel like there's more of a scarcity when it comes to great or elite fantasy wide receivers, and that's the only reason why. But they're pretty far up there. If you have those guys on your team, you're doing good for yourself, or you should be doing good. Says, yes, trade me Hill for Cook, please. Oh, I wonder if that's why he said it. Says, what do you think about Jefferson catch?
It was dirty, man.
It was disgusting, dude. It's going to be in the cover of Madden.
Oh, I could see that for sure. That would be crazy.
And it's crazy because I saw that catch live, and the last time I saw a catch like that live, it's going to sound cliche, but it was the Odell Beckham. I saw that live,
Yeah.
and then I saw the Odell. Reed was here with me, and Reed was like, "Oh no, he saw replays. Like, there's no way he made that catch."
Yeah.
I was like, "It's insane." But when you look at the defender, helped him out, like kept the ball in place. It was insane, awesome. Yeah,
That's wild.
if you could watch something like that, if you're able to witness something like that, that's awesome. Abraham says, who do you think will step up in the Rams wide receiver room with Cup gone? We talked about this a little bit before. I'll let Vince take it away because I cannot pronounce his name to save my life.
Skowronek, man. Skowronek is the guy. We just talked about it earlier, like maybe like probably an hour ago. We forget how long we are on these lives, but I think it's going to be Skowronek and possibly Van Jefferson. We kind of forget about him because he was injured a little bit, but he is their big boom guy. And with Cup gone, defenses are not going to know who to cover. So Skowronek and Vance Jefferson are going to get open every now and then. But Skowronek for sure, because he's going to be in the slot. And I could also see Van Jefferson get put in the slot as well and maybe run a streak or a little post route out. So look for those guys to get some production. We talked about Allen Robinson probably not getting too much more. He'll get maybe 1 or 2 more receptions, but he's not a big play guy. He's kind of like a Robert Woods, but not as good, in my opinion. Yeah.
Speaking of Robert Woods, Rave says, random question, which is not random. We actually do have a football podcast, which we do live every Monday at 6 o'clock. If you ever want to join in on that, we talk football, just playing out football. Random question: do you think the Titans are frauds? I think the Titans are who they are displayed to be. They are. I want to get a lot of hate for this comment. I really hope none of you guys are Cowboys fans, but they are last year's Cowboys, right? Because they're in a division that's just struggling big time, and they're taking advantage of it. So good for them, right? But they are not a good team. I do hope they do finish first in their division. They've suffered so much already, but as far as frauds, I don't think so. It's just a super weak division that they're taking advantage of. But yeah, they're not a good team, and what their record looks like, it's not even close. Like if I feel like every team, if I'm going to say every team in Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, and Washington could beat out the Titans. Any one of those teams could be the lead point in that
Most
division.
likely, yeah.
It's crazy. So it's 10:58 in Japan a.m. Jeez, my gosh, I haven't even eaten dinner yet. Jeez. Abraham says, would you rather have Burks or Duvernay for depth?
That's a hard one. Duvernay has not been doing the best anymore. I was kind of high on him for a little bit, but it's not working out there. He's just not getting the ball. But Burks isn't that good either. He had one good game this past game. He had 3 receptions for about like 20 something yards. So maybe Burks, but then again, I don't trust the Titans. We just talked about them,
Ryan Tannehill is back, so I do feel like they could be airing out the ball a little bit more. And the same thing with the Falcons. The Ravens don't like to pass the ball. They are a run heavy team. So I would go with Burks just because of the higher ceiling. But Duvernay does have a higher floor, if you get what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Rave says, I'm a Titans fan, so I just want to see other fans' perspective. I have a very close friend of mine. I work with him. He's a chef, and he's a big Titans fan. And we talk to each other all the freaking time. And I feel for you, man. I feel you, man. I know it's frustrating, but I do feel like you guys can win the division, and you guys should win the division. So who do you got, Packers or Titans? It's going to come down to your defense, man. It's going to come down to your defense. Don't let the Packers take advantage. Are they going up this week? Are they playing this week? I think they are, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
They are going. They're playing Thursday Night Football. Jeez.
Ooh.
So early projection here. So Vince could be witness. I got the Titans winning Thursday Night Football. I got the Titans winning, just because they do have a freaking power horse of a. Oh, jeez, Reed's on here. Damn it.
There he is.
I'm sticking by my guy, right? I got the Titans. I do feel like the upset's coming up. I think the Packers going to be too high on life after defeating the Cowboys. But I'm going with the underdogs. I'm going with the Titans.
Shoot, man. I don't know if I can make mine just yet. Might be a little bit too early. I'm waiting on that Allen Lazard news, and Rodgers will play for sure. But Titans are going to get their buttons kicked. That's cool, Reed. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, pretty cool. There. Big Money Joe says, what wide receiver is the waiver wire priority rest of the season? Kadarius, Van Jefferson, Wandale Moore, Nico Collins, or Watson, etc., etc. Right now, I think the guy who has the biggest upside and the biggest chance of having the biggest impact on fantasy football is Kadarius Toney. Not the biggest fan of him, but looking at his stats, it seems like the Chiefs really like him, like a lot. So I would say Kadarius Toney going into week 11.
Yeah, I think I would have to say the same. I mean, Watson is honestly, sorry, Reed. I think Watson was a one-timer. He might be consistent a little bit, but getting receptions, but he's not going to get 3 touchdowns again. Maybe 1, but I'd probably go Kadarius, then Watson. Maybe Wandale and then Van Jefferson, because we haven't seen Van Jefferson actually do much yet. So that would be how I see it.
We're going to speed up a little bit in these comments right here just because we're getting overloaded here. Abraham says, man, Galladay has fallen off so hard. It's disappointing. It really is disappointing.
Yep.
We had a lot of high hopes for him. Cody Armour says, Christian Watson or Lazard rest of the season. It's kind of tough, but I think I'd rather go with Watson just because of that slight chance that he might have found that connection with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, who has 3 touchdowns a game? I mean, why not? But you have Randall Cobb coming back. I wouldn't trust anyone.
Yeah, honestly. I think I might go Lazard, but it's tough to choose, especially how would they see it.
Mi corazón, dude. This guy says, I love the Niners now. They're going to the bowl. Hell yeah, brother. I like this guy. I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you so much, man. You literally made my day. Thank you. Appreciate you. Honestly. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Lazard is fine. Hey, I never said he wasn't fine.
Hopefully.
Yeah, the Lizard King, right? It says, I'm a Packers fan. What you mean? For what? I don't know, man. I think he's talking to Reed.
Most likely, yeah.
It says this is capping our Watson is Hall of Famer. I said Watson was going to be the guy. You told me it was going to be Romeo Dobbs. I'm expecting an apology right now. Abraham, I hope you know this, but I called out Watson at the beginning of the season, and Reed was like, oh, no, it's going to be Romeo Dobbs. So, yeah, I want to apologize right now.
That's hurt.
He's hurting. But there you go, you guys. We're going to read off these few comments, but then we're going to head out for the night. We've been on for a little over 2 hours, which is a long time. My throat's scratchy, my head's fuzzy, but I like it. We could do this again if you guys want. Abraham says, what are y'all thinking about Nick Westbrook from the Titans? He had a monster game last week, and I haven't heard many people talk about him. 8 targets, 5 receptions, 119 yards, and 2 TDs. I won't think it's going to be consistent. Like I said, the guy to look out for over there is Treylon Burks. They invested a lot into that guy. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 1 going forward. I know Westbrook had a great game, but that was just out of the blue, and I don't see that happening going forward.
Yep, I'd have to agree. There's a lot of one-timers, man.
Thoughts on Hollywood off the injury and D-Hop being wide receiver 1? I don't think it's enough time for Hollywood to come back and be a factor for fantasy football or to be confident in. So it's tough because I think he's going to come back right around the playoff schedule. I don't know. I wouldn't trust him. Cody, there's a lot of words I want to say that I can't say right now towards you.
I'll say them for you, AJ. Hello, the Niners are going to the bowl to get massacred by the Chiefs. Oh my geez, Cody, you're a monster.
Cody, I liked you, dude. I liked you. No
it's
comment.
Okay, AJ.
I'm gonna cry at home. It's okay. Rave made my night. Reed McCall says, I said he wouldn't be good at the beginning, and then he could heat up. Dobbs is getting hurt, increase his touches. Hey, dude, Watson's been hurt almost every game of the season. Don't give me that. Don't give me that excuse. Says Pena has got to be inconsistent. I watched the Titans. Yeah, he's wide receiver 3 on Titans. Yeah, definitely. Nestor, you're still lurking in here, dude. I love this guy.
Dude, Nestor's been here, man. He's probably playing games right now, and he's like,
snack.
A snack.
I'm a snack. Oh my gosh. But I appreciate every single one of you guys joining us here live. We do have a waiver wire video, so if you do catch us at the back end of our show, we did post that earlier today. So hit that waiver wire video, see who we think you guys should pick up on every position. And again, thank you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button so we could do yet another giveaway. And until next time, you guys keep on grinding.